Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of the Tenacious Turtle Tussle number 20. I'm, of course, your VIP, and with me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in the chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to another CranKy Duckling event. Again, this is an open tournament, so welcome one and all. It is a little bit more a NA-centric time zone, as opposed to Sparkling Tuna Cup. We're here with the 20th edition, and we are jumping to our first series of the night. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the purple Zerg player representing Team LTK, License to Kill. It is Eon. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the pink Zerg player here in the ZVZ. We have Iosup. Iosup, let's go. Let us go. But good morning, everyone. Good morning. I apologize for the abrupt start. I just kind of dove in. The brackets are now live, of course. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. Best of luck with the bracket overall and with your predictions as well. If you're in the chat, predictions now open. Place your bets on who you believe will claim the series. Whew. As there is a lot to go over. Again, plenty of players. Once again, though, 2 games in a row, we are actually missing some of the more notable, more regular Korean players. Last night, we took note that we were missing players like Byeon, missing players like Shin, Trap, and Nightmare. They were MIA. This morning as well. They signed up, but they did not check in. So this time, this Tenacious Turtle Tussle is going to be a lot more NA-centric. We have Estrella, we have Trigger, we have Eon from Costa Rica as well. We have, of course, many competitors from all around the world. We have Geralt, of course, from Poland, from Europe. So all the regions are coming together. We still have some Korean representation, don't get me wrong. We still have Honmono, we still have Rebellion. We still have plenty of players, but yeah. This is going to be an interesting one, an interesting way to start things off. And again, we'll go over the bracket itself after the series. For now, we're settling in. The turtle is beautiful. Settling in. Bit of a later GLHF, but it's fine. It's fine for now. Hatch gas pool, standard openers. We are just droning up, saturating our bases. Everything so far is looking as it should. So far, so good. Also, before I get too ahead of myself, a massive shout out to Stegosaurus. A shout out to Proto Stegosaurus in the chat. For those that are unaware, typically our prize pool is around 150 USD, but we have had a very passionate fan, very passionate person in the chat that has been contributing to the prize pool, Proto Stegosaurus. Because of Proto Stegosaurus, we have been having 300 USD prize pools instead, double the prize pool, but this week it's something different, something special. 400 USD prize pool. Oh my god. Proto Stegosaurus. Calm down, Bobby. Base Proto. Exactly. So thank you so much for the additional boosted prize pool. If you guys want to contribute yourself, exclamation mark Matcherino in the chat, and you will get a link to the Matcherino page. You will get a link to help support this event, to help support the prize pool. Again, big shout out to Stegosaurus. Likewise, shout out to Dave Testa in the chat as well. Big shout out. Senor Dave, and everyone else as well, of course. I believe, as we're getting into a link flood, but I believe a big reason as to why the prize pool is a little bit larger this week and Stegosaurus is feeling a little bit more generous is because, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think there's an Ursasaurus Cup this week. I believe we're still sorting out the NA show matches. I think that is still getting underway, but I believe the season, the initial round of Ursasaurus Cups has come to an end, at least for the time being. Yeah, at least for the time being. Meanwhile, we do have Lings moving out across the map, but Eon is going to be able to get us surrounded. The third base is going to fall, and Iosup, he's still not quite ready. No safety. Bailings! Bailings, they were delayed. The third base is going to go down. Massive pickoff. And Eon from here, he can just back the hell off, build up back at home. Now, Eon did delay his own Bailey Nest timing, so he is working with purely Lings here to defend. He is vulnerable, and Iosup may just commit to a 2-base all-in. Roach production has begun. Bailings are massing up. Iosup, he is not yet making any workers. Does have an Evo chamber on the way. That's going to be for upgrades. He has not fully saturated. There we go. Gases are now being taken. Oh, Bailing is going to get baited out. Not ideal here for Iosup. You can see he only wants to bait out another. Does attempt to. Roaches have arrived. And Iosup is droning. He's going to be moving out across the map, but he's not all in. He's not committed. He's hoping to force an overreaction. Back at home, Eon is amassing up his own roaches. Roaches are on the way. One of them does get surrounded. Not bad. At the same time, Eon going for a counterattack. Ooh. But a Bailey was left back at home. Ailsop, he is defending, he does hold, it doesn't get much done across the map, but he's droning, right? He has been droning the entire time, he's slowly trying to get into a longer kind of game state. I say that Aeon still has the greater economy, still is up in workers, and soon to be up in roaches as well. Ailsop, he has to back up, has to defend. Third base, soon to be up and running, is being retaken. And from here, there's no real pressure on Aeon. Sure, he can move out, and he is, don't get me wrong. He's once again looking to deny the third, but he doesn't need to. He could just chill, back up, join up, get further ahead. Aeon getting a little bit greedy, wants to try and force another cancel. Engaging with the main army. The Bailings, oh no! Bailings, they will connect. Lings, they get annihilated. The Roach battle is going to be a close one. We have a comparable Roach count. Reinforcements are on the way. Defender's advantage. And Ailsop will take the fight. We'll clean up these Roaches. Not bad. And can counterattack from here. Ailsop moving out. Saves the third base. Again, Aeon did overextend. He had no reason to be here. He was being a little bit cheeky, a little bit greedy. Trying to force a cancel. Alas, he was punished. Behind this building up Roaches. Ailsop has been able to catch up in the worker count. Oh, but does not have enough Roaches. Mainly going to be a Ling-based army. Can he get the surround? Gonna try it too. There's only the one Ravager. While will connect. Not quite. Never mind. Not enough to lock down the army. Yeah, Aeon, he breaks through, cleans up all the Lings, gets on top of the Roaches. And Ailsop barely did not have enough. Not enough to while to punish. Roach is getting caught out. While will graze the army. But last this time it was Ailsop's turn to overextend. We'll have to back off. Is still recovering. I see droning up. Getting into +1 range. Do have the lair. Roach speed has yet to begin. Unfortunately for Ailsop, Aeon has been mining more for longer, so he still has the better economy. As a result, that's reflected in the upgrades, reflected in the main army. Right now, the pressure is on Ailsop to come back in some way. Either go for a Ling counterattack, a Baneling run by, getting into a mineral line. Oh, there's a bit of miscontrol. It does target down his own Ravager. That was not intentional. Yeah, you can see here, he had it queued up, injecting. And looks like he may have accidentally clicked on the Ravager as well. Ah. So unfortunate there for Ailsop. Is the iOS up? Maybe. Maybe. Aye. As from here, both armies are quite comparable with each other. +2 has begun for Aeon. There's going to be a 2-1 timing where he has a massive double upgrade lead. But until those upgrades kick in, the upgrades will even up here with +1. +1 about to finish up here for the Pink Zerg. And he can try to move out with that. Ideally, I also wants Aeon to overdrone and to oversaturate. Aeon has not taken his gases yet. Still staying on a lower drone count. Spire is on the way. Aeon is pushing. Upgrades are even. Meanwhile, Lings, they do slip into the main. The Queens are in position. Let's go. Queens are ready. They defend the main. Going else up, he dives on the Roaches. Nice stutter stepping. Good start to the fight. Takes down a good chunk of Roaches. Aeon has to back up. Does have to retreat. I also with the larger Roach army. Let's go. Can try to break Aeon. Aeon, bearing in mind he is investing elsewhere, spending money on upgrades, spending money on the Spire. He also can try to break through. And he's going to try and brute force his way in. And no Ravagers behind this, just purely Roach. Barely not enough though. With the defender's advantage, without any Ravagers, Aeon he will hold. Forces back the army, and what's scary is the longer this goes on, the better it's going to be for Aeon. The 2-1 upgrades. The upgrades are about to kick in. The Spire also finishing up as well. And also, he was able to build up a comparable Roach army, that's true, but that's all he really had. Now here come the Mutas. The Mutas are on the way. Just 3 for the time being, not too many. There we go, getting a 4th Muta. Spine Crawlers being thrown down. And I also was unable to scout the main. He's unaware what's going on. Yosa? Oh, I'll take Yosa. Yosa? Yeah. Yosa. There we go. You just have arrived. Usa. Oh god. Yeah, the mutas have made us. They've revealed themselves to the overlords. We'll bring them down. Going for the infestation bit. We don't really need to tech up like this, but I mean, sure, why not? And I also he's all in. He also, god damn it. But he's all in at this point, sending everything across the map. Just pure roach. Pushing into a concave. Better start to the fight for Eon. Iosop has the greater numbers though. He will slowly break through. I mean, mutas have arrived. They're going to be able to clean this up eventually. And with Defender's Advantage, Eon, he should be able to reinforce. Has Spine Claws behind this as well. Yeah, this is all that the pink Zerg player had left, and it's not enough. Doesn't break through. Behind this is no Hydrogen, no Spire. Oh, and my apologies, there is a Hydrogen. Can try to reinforce with Hydras, but spent all of his gas on more roaches. Oh yeah, he never took the gases. Never took the gas at the third base, so undersaturated. Yeah, no gas to work with. The queens are helping out though. They're able to help support. As Yosop has been able to catch up in some of those upgrades. Pulling back with his queens. Eon likewise remaxing on those roaches. With the infestation bit, Eon, he could try to mix in some infestors or just go into the hive. He has options. Oh, the first Ravagers of the game. Let's go. Ravagers are finally coming. Eon, he can finally micro. And try to outmaneuver Yosop. Hydrogen also on the way. I mean, at this point, I would not be opposed to Yosop going into Lurkers. Like, now would be amazing to get into Lurker tech. He's noticed that there aren't really that many mutas, so a high Hydra count isn't actually too important here. So rushing into Lurkers would actually be a big advantage for the Pink Zerg, but alas, he's not quite doing so. Saturating his gases, getting a fourth base. Sticking with Roach, Ravager, Hydra. And I mentioned Lurkers for Yosop earlier, and Lurkers are now on the way for Eon instead. So again, Eon, he's taking up further. Has the infestation bit for Hive Tech, for the Lurker upgrades. To get the Viper Tech as well. So tech-wise, Eon has just been one step ahead. Supplies is still comparable, so despite the tech, if Yosop is able to hit before Lurker production, before Lurkers really come into play, then the Pink Zerg player definitely has a chance. He's about to max out. He's maxed. Here we go. The mutas can't really add too much here to the fights, but they'll be there. Lurker production has begun. Full Lurkers on the way. Blast blowing up. Not quite connecting. Up! Getting an Overlord. Supply blocking Eon. Let's go. Okay, supply block Lurkers have arrived. But the Lurkers, yeah, they have made it in time. They will burrow. Hive is almost done as well. File's going to be connecting. Yosop rotating around. Once again, though, time is in Eon's favor. The Lurkers less so, though. They're left behind. The Lurkers haven't rotated. They're not a part of the fight. Best case scenario here for Yosop. Just trading with Eon. More roaches on the way. There we go. Lurkers do reposition. Hive is done, but no Lurker upgrades, and the hatchery's going to be going down. Up. Hatchery barely will fall. Yosop, he's holding his own. Gets an expansion. Rotating around. Still more Lurkers on the way. And Yosop has not teched into a Hive, no Lurker Den either. He's still just stuck on this Lair Tech army. It can still work. Does deny one Lurker. Not bad. Gets another. The Wiles! 3 Lurkers go down. Very nice pickups. Yeah, Lurker count still not what it needs to be. Okay, 5 more Lurkers on the way. Yosop pulling back. Again, if he can somehow position Eon, then maybe. Catching a couple of roaches. Not bad. A couple of roaches go down. Yosop rotating. Up. Files down almost one of the Lurkers. Lurker range is now done. Jesus, it's mainly a Hydra-based army. Again, I'm not really too fond of the army composition of Yosop. It's mainly Hydra with Ravager. Again, Vipers would go a long way here with this. As he does try to rotate around Lurkers. They are a little bit late to rotate. Vials will connect. They get one Lurker. There's still one more behind this. Ooh, and there is no detection. Yeah, Lurkers are popping up, and Yosop's army just completely melts. Ay, ay, ay. That was not the fight to go for. Not like this. And Yosop's out of money. He's out of resources. Again, no saturation in the main. There's 2 patches left at the natural. Running out of resources here at the 3rd. You can see him transferring over. And Eon is maxed. He's about to max out. And Yosop, he had a comparable army size, but as you can see here, he didn't really have an economy to sustain it. And it wasn't very efficient of an army either. As now he's long distance mining. And again, Yosop, he was able to hold his own, but we mentioned before that he was pretty all in, and as time goes on, it's just been getting worse and worse for him. Just trying to move out once again. This time he's pushing into Lurkers. A heavy Lurker count as well. And Yosop getting zoned away. Eon pushing forward. Roach counterattack here towards the mineral lines. Drones are going down. And Eon can finally move out, this time with a more refined army. No Vipers yet, but Hydra, Roach, Ravager, Lurker should be more than enough. Getting position. Spine shots going up. Oh my god, massive damage here. GG gets called, and Eon will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. We'll take the first game. But a shout out to Yosop because, again, he was able to hold his own for a time despite certain disparities or disadvantages. Was able to bounce back, was able to recover economically, get up to a 4-base economy. Unfortunately, if you remember, he was very late to take his gases and really late to tech as well. He was stuck on Hydra tech, which doesn't really scale well as the game progresses. Never invested into a Hive or a Lurker Den or anything like that, so his army did kind of have an expiration date, if you will. Did have a time limit for how effective it could be. With that, GG. GG, well played. Eon does take the first game, but I could see this going to the ace match. I want to believe. I want to believe, Fappy. So we are getting ready for game number 2. We go. ZZ cannot have a later stage. Oh, clearly you've not experienced Lurker versus Lurker. That's, again, especially last year in the previous map pool, I'm talking about Gresvan, Ancient Cistern. We would cast very frequently some late game ZVZ with players like Dark, players like Serral, Shin, Scarlet. Some of those maps were a little bit more defendable. And you get into Lurker versus Lurker. I mean, initially it'd be Roach Ravager versus Roach Ravager, into Lurker versus Lurker, into Viper versus Viper, where you'd have like 12 Vipers for both players, each like abducting, parasitic bombing. It was all about that air control and the Viper tech. But it's been a while since we've really kind of embraced that. Has been a while. Thankfully. I mean, look, if I wanted to see siege lines of Lurkers versus Lurkers, I'd be casting a TVT, okay? I. We got enough of that in TVT. I'm good. We'll stick with the roaches. Until then, we're jumping into game 2. Jumping into Golden Aura. Here we go, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Golden Aura, we have our Costa Rican Zerg player, the Purple Zerg, representing Team License to Kill, leading the series 1-0. It is Eon. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent, we have the pink Zerg player. It is Yosa. Again, he's coming in as the underdog in this series, but there were definitely some nice moments for him in that previous game. He had his moments. Let's go. So we are getting our game underway. So far, hatch gas full, standard openers. Nothing too wild yet. Just going for our initial hatcheries. Into our Baneling Nest setup, into our third, I would imagine. If you recall, Eon was the aggressor last game, and he was able to kill the third. He was able to snipe the third base, and if you recall, Eon was just a little bit too greedy from there. I say greedy in the sense that he tried to deny the third for a second time, did move out with Roaches, he did overextend, lost his Roaches, didn't get the third base, and that led into more of a back and forth. Despite the initial lead that Eon had, he wasn't able to hold on to it. Or it wasn't as large as it otherwise could have been. So I feel like, once again, the ball is in Eon's court. See how he does approach it. So now we are just going to be droning up. Just happily droning, soon to be taking a third base as well. So far everything is normal. No 2-base Roach, no Link Flood, no 12 pool, no 13-12. Ah, standard pack. We're expanding. It's crazy. Both players taking their thirds. Yosub moving out with the Link Scouts. Eon has avoided it, actually not making any Lings whatsoever. So greedy move here by Eon, he skips his Lings. Is he punished for it? Up. Ooh, as the drone is not going to go down, just barely. Eon with 2 HP. Drone barely survives, Eon defends, now investing into his Lings. And behind this, Yosub going into his Baneling Nest. Eon has the gas. No Baneling Nest yet. Interesting. Lings are amassing. Roach Warren on the way. Once again, Eon is cutting corners. He's skipping Banelings, just Ling flooding, going into Roaches behind it. And if he trades too poorly, he's going to be vulnerable to a Ling Bane counterattack. Oh, actually going for a delayed Baneling nest. Okay, interesting. We'll see if Eon can get away with it. For now, moving out across the map with Mass Ling. His goal here is once again to kill the third. Your sub did morph in defensive Banelings back at home. Lings are on the way. And he does have the tools to defend. Banelings waddling in while the Baneling's going to get sniped. One Baneling goes down. A decent connection. Takes down a handful of Lings. And with help of Queens, the sub should be able to hold on. I say that the base is getting low. Base is getting low, but Yosop will defend. He holds. Whew. Does barely hold on. Meanwhile, Roach production has begun. We spoke about it earlier, but again, early Roach Warren out of Eon. Roaches are already amassing. Yosop likewise doing the same. Oh, Yosop has been droning, getting up to 37 workers, still droning up even more. Oh, he doesn't know. Now he does, but it's too late. Roach is moving out. Yosop, he needs spine crawlers. Without spine crawlers, without Roaches here and now, I don't know if he can hold. Eon's all in. Eon is going for a 1.5 base all in at this point. It's all or nothing. And Yosop, he's going to have to give up on the third base. From here, he backs up. Coming in for the... Oh, no! Coming in for the surround. Banelings pop up. Queen goes down, and Eon, he avoids the third. He goes straight for the natural, straight for the kill. Banelings, massive connections. And there's almost nothing left. There's a handful of Lings, a handful of Roaches. Again, Yosop, he was a little bit too greedy, droned up too much, didn't realize what was going on, and did not have enough to defend. Nowhere near enough. As Eon is snowballing out of control, GG gets called, and Eon will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the next round. GG. Whew. Oh my god. GG, well played. Congratulations, Eon will take the series, and a big shout out to Chileno Singaporean in the chat. Oh my god, papi. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Gracias. Thank you so much for subscribing and supporting for 43 months. That's a lot of months, papi. That's a lot of months of support. That's almost 4 years. You're almost there, papi. You're almost there. Long-time supporter of the channel. Thank you so much for subscribing with Twitch Prime. Gracias, papi. Gracias. Siempre, siempre. Thank you so much. And again, a shout out to Eon. Does take the series, does advance on into the next round. Yosop had a closer back and forth in game 1. Here in game 2, unfortunately, Yosop, he was unable to scout, unable to confirm, didn't get eyes on the lack of saturation at the third, or lack of saturation at the natural either. By the time he realized what was going on, he had already overdroned. And he was unable to react in time with any spine crawlers. Yosop was caught with his pants down. GG, well played. GG, well played. And with that, we have our first series. We have our first series in the books. And we're going to be following Eon into the quarterfinals. Here we go. If you're interested, exclamation mark, and be in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back yourselves. The bracket is stacked. The bracket is live. There's a lot to go over. Here we go. From the top, we have the entirety of the first round wrapping up already. Oh my god. We have Eon taking down Yosop 2-0. Eon advances on to face off against Estrella in the quarterfinals. Scrolling down, we have Honmono. Honmono takes down the great Scoltini. Tortellini. Honmono takes him down 2-0. Up against Rebellion in the second round as well. We have some Korean on Korean action. Best of luck to Honmono and Rebellion. Likewise, Rebellion took down Medic Jr. to advance on. Scrolling down, we have Xingming takes down Patches 2-0 as well. Honestly, all these matches were real fast. I mean, we had a bit of a longer game 1, but a very fast game 2, and it looks like the rest of these first round matches were somewhat similar in that sense. Likewise, Geralt takes down Nice VIP. Oh, sorry, it looks like there was a walkover there. Likewise, Hydra takes down Jealous 2-0 as well. Now we have the quarterfinals underway. We have Astray versus Eon, we have Honmono versus Rebellion, Trigger versus Xingming, and Geralt versus Hydra. That's a lot of PvPs. the lower half of the bracket is purely Protoss. Trigger, Xingming, Geralt, and Hydra, all Protoss players. We are going to be focusing on the upper half of the bracket, though. We're focusing on Eon versus Estrella. Let's go. That is going to be our next series. Our next match. Just setting things up. Thank you guys for the great content. Ah, thank you, Chileno. Thank you. Here we go. But vetoes are currently underway, and then we can jump into our first series. Can soon jump in. But yes, Homeowner vs. Rebellion is currently about to begin as well, and it's a very tempting series to jump into. I was definitely looking at Homeowner vs. Rebellion in the second round, but did decide to jump in onto Eon and Estrella for some ZVP while we can. There's a lot of Protoss on the brackets, and I do slightly favor Homeowner against Rebellion, so I'm sure we'll be seeing some Terran action later on. I'm sure, but I feel like we gotta cast some Zerg while we can. For those that are curious, again, the event does pay out top 4. Top 4 players do get into the money. And we're getting there. We are getting there. On top of that, both semifinals will be casted. We'll be covering both semis, both upper and lower, into the grand finals. So plenty more matches to come. Plenty more on the horizon. Until then, I guess we're going to be going on a short break. Looks like Estrella and Eon, they need a little bit more time to get their vetoes underway, so going to be going on a short break from here. Again, when we return, we will have our quarterfinals match. We'll have our ZVP. I'm sure it's going to be a fast one. Eon is very aggressive, very tenacious in the ZVP matchup. Likewise, Estrella is also a little bit unorthodox as well. We've been casting a lot of Estrella recently. It's been looking damn good. It was last week where Estrella took down Bjorn in a best of 3. It was very impressive seeing Estrella bring Bjorn down. This week, there is no Bjorn. Can anyone stop him? Can anyone bring Max Angel down? We'll find out after the break. Take this moment, get some snacks, get some water, go to the bathroom, drain your disruptors, massage your Marines, and stretch your roaches. We'll be back soon with our next match. See you then. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the quarterfinals of the Tenacious Turtle Tussle number 20. And I just I just realized we're off racing. Let's go, Bobby. Let's go. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Site Delta, we have the American, usually Protoss, but off racing as Terran, representing Virtus Pro. It is Estrella. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Costa Rican Zerg player, the purple Zerg, representing Team License to Kill, LTK. It is Eon. And I hope Eon noticed that Estrella is not playing Protoss. Ooh, pull first. full first opener out of Eon. Meanwhile, 2-Rax Reaper out of Estrella. For those that are curious, Estrella does off-race relatively often. I say relatively. Basically, in the early rounds of these open tournaments, I'm referring to ESL Open Cup Americas, I'm referring to our tournaments, Ursasaurus Cup as well, Estrella is willing to off-race. I mean, his off-race, his Terran is GM, so it is pretty damn good. Not as good as his Protoss, but good nonetheless. So Estrella, he feels confident. Feels confident that he can off-race and whip out his Terran and look strong. And I hope Eon knows what's going on. Oh boy. As Eon is moving out with his Overlord, is scouting for a proxy towards the left-hand side. Going pool into hatchery, into gas. Lings are on the way, and these initial 6 Lings could try to bypass and try to get around that initial Reaper. Overlord is moving out. But against 2-Rax Reaper, I do favor Estrella in this position. I mean, Queens will be done earlier, true. They will be done sooner. But the problem is that there's a full wall and there's double Reaper production. Like, these Lings, they shouldn't find much damage at all. As Eon now confirms the Reaper. Gets eyes on the Reaper, gets eyes on the production. Lings, they can nibble away at the depot. I mean, if the depot isn't raised, then maybe they can slip in. As Estrella moves out, and now we'll realize how late the expansion is. Queen is in position. Estrella does lift in time. And again, he has a full wall. Has a full wall. Reapers are racing back home. Marine has arrived, and these Lings, they have to back up. And they can be hunted down by the Reapers. Aye, aye, aye. The Reapers have arrived. Nice control of Estrella. He shouldn't lose a Reaper. And he won't. He won't lose a single Reaper. Cleans up every single Ling. And now Estrella can move out. Behind this, back at home, getting into a 2-on-1. Factory's already on the way. Into add-ons, into Reactor, Tech Lab, Stim. Combat Shields. See Estrella repositioning the bunker to make sure he doesn't block his own add-ons. Let's go. And we'll see where Eon goes from here. For now, he's stuck on 2 bases. Estrella, he's done more than enough with these Reapers already. But Eon, he's stuck on 2 bases, going for a fast Baneliness. It looks like a Bane Bust. Looks like a bit of a delayed Bane Bust here by Eon. Time is working against him. Estrella switches the Bane. Up! Oh, doesn't get the tumor. 1 Reaper goes down. Not a bad start for Eon. Denies the scout. But Estrella should be aware that something's wrong. Something is wrong. Something is up. Is it 2-base Roach? Is it 2-base Muta? There are options. Estrella's still trying to piece it all together. I mean, that's why Estrella has a safety bunker. Stim is on the way. Widowmine production has begun. Oh, it's going to be Widowmine, not Hellion. If it was Hellions, I would favor Estrella. Widowmines are a little bit more risky. I mean, they could annihilate these Lings, or they can kind of miss targets and misfire. There it is. Banelings are morphing in. Estrella getting a 3rd CC. Estrella, he's vulnerable. I mean, barely any Marines. There's 4. Now 6 Marines. Yeah, Estrella should be aware that something is wrong. Widowmines are repositioning. How good are the mine shots going to be? Depot goes down. We have 2 Widowmines. The Lings, they do flood in. Up! The mine shots! Oh my god. Yeah, mine shots going up. Widowmines go down. Bunker is still standing. And there's not enough Ling Bane. Yeah, the mine shots were good enough. Lings, they get into the mineral line. Mine shot going off once again. And Estrella's holding. Estrella, he will hold. And Eon behind this doesn't really have much to work with. There's not much saturation, taking double gases. Roach Warren now begins, but it's a late Roach Warren here for Eon. Just now getting to his 3rd as well. And really, we're just waiting for Estrella to move out with his bio army. Medevacs are on the way. Just now starting up. And once the medevacs arrive, then Estrella can break out. Not like this. Oh, just get surrounded. Across the map, Liberator has arrived. The queen count is low. So minimal queens to defend. No spores either. Eon is holding his own. Be able to hold on. Getting on top of the Liberator. Roach production has begun. Is amassing up those Ravagers. Okay, getting to Ling Ravager production. And he's going for a second all-in. Again, barely any saturation here at the third. Massing up more Lings. And Eon is going to send it. Back at home, what does Astrea have? He's moving out with a double drop. He has one tank on the high ground. Not much on the low ground to defend. So Eon has potential for damage. Has potential, but it's going to be a base trade. The medevacs have arrived. Astrea, he can stim into the mineral line. Catching out Overlords. Eon knocking down the front door. Things are flooding in, getting us around. And can he bring down the tank? He can! Bars do connect, but the second tank has arrived. Bunker goes down. It looks like the Ravagers are being focused on one after the other. The boys are being pulled. The Ravagers are falling. The tank holds. And the drop across the map, it's getting out of control. It's getting out of hand. Spore goes down, mineral line as well. And Astrea, he can just keep going. Yeah, Ling Roach just struggling to trade against the drop. Dropping into the natural. Eon down to 26 drones. Barely an economy. And Astrea, he's got mules. He has SCVs, he has mules. Just muled here at the natural. Now Astrea, he's still lacking a main army to move out, but I mean these drops are doing more than enough. That's the Wiles up. They don't quite connect. Liberated within range of the Spore. Lib goes down. Nice couple of moments for Eon. As Eon is droning, is trying to recover. But Eon needs more than this. More than just sniping a Liberator. As here comes Astrea. Bearing in mind, Eon has no Banelings, it's just Ling Roach Ravager. Trying to get ready for a push. Behind this there's that infestation bit. It looks like this should be for infestors. So even if Eon is down in army supply, with a couple of good fungal growths, he can maybe win a fight. Maybe. It's possible. Like, considering how marine heavy this army is, a couple of well-timed fungals can clean this up. That's that potential. As Astrea, he's just fortifying himself. Infestors are now on the way. It's going to be 2 infestors. Astrea, looks like he does now have enough to move out, but doesn't feel too confident. Just moving out with drops. Just trying to feel out what's going on. Infestors are popping out. Astrea now finally moving out with his main army. Does leave his tanks behind, but moves out with everything else. Simming across. Getting us up to the 4th base. Up. Ooh, does get a cancel. So far, so good. Oh, that's a kill. Gets a cancel, gets a kill as well. Fungal does connect. The chain Fungals. And Eon will clean this up. Not without losing the expansion, though. Aye. So still not worth it for Eon. As Astrea is almost maxed. He's about to max out. And I'm not so sure Eon can stop him. This time the Fungal's not quite ready. Drop into the main. So double jump into the main base. Main army pushing right through the center. This time with tanks. Yeah, this time Astrea just sending everything across the map. Takes down 6 workers. The overlords. Clears up all the creep. And this is the final stand of Eon. Again, he's got potentially 3 fungal growths. That's okay. Fungals, they do nothing against the tanks. Just how many? 8 tanks here for Astrea. Plenty to support. He sims in. Oh, and the Fungal said, yeah, one of them will go off. It's going to be another Fungal. Does connect as well. A lot of the Marines go down, but again, the tanks do so much damage in the back line. Massive tank volleys going off. And the Roach Ravager is going to be forced back. At the same time, dropping the main, getting more damage. And it looks like Astrea has done it. He's broken the main army, pushing up the ramp into the natural. There's a handful of units remaining. And again, it was just a rough start for Eon. The failed Bane bust. The rough pool burst. GG gets called and Astrea takes game 1. GG. Again, Astrea. I should fix up the race as well. There we go. Playing Terran, not Protoss, of course. And I'm sure he's going to commit, even if he loses the game. Astrea does commit. And we'll see if Eon can bounce back. Again, it was just a really unfortunate start for Eon. Going pool first against 2-Rax Reaper. We saw that the Lings, they just did nothing. Lings got shut down. Reapers gained map control, led into the 2-on-1. The Bane Bust follow-up had potential for damage, but as we saw, the Widowmines were just a little bit too good. They did connect very nicely against the Ling Bane of Eon, and it meant that the Bust got a depot and got a handful of SCVs, but just not enough damage. Did not do nearly enough. And from there, Eon was kind of just playing from behind, playing catch-up. Wasn't quite able to recover. Was not able to, but we'll see. GG, well played. We're getting ready for game 2, and I'm curious how Eon will approach game 2. I'm curious what map it's going to be on as well. I do think he can pose a threat to Astrea's Terran, 100%. But we'll see. See what map we load into, and the initial opener as well. Now, Astrea, his builds when it comes to his Terran and TVZ, they aren't really too diverse. Astrea, he's usually got just like one kind of build and one kind of playstyle, at least from what we've seen. So I expect more of the same. I expect more 2-Rax Reaper into 2-on-1. Instead, my eyes are going to be on Eon. How does he respond? We go. So getting into game 2. So hello Nikachu. Hello. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? And spawning in the top left hand corner of Gosher, we have the American, usually Protoss, but now the American Terran player representing Virtus Pro. It is Astrea. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Costa Rican Zerg player, the Purple Zerg, representing Team License to Kill, LTK. It is Eon. Let's go. Also, I just realized I think I forgot predictions. Am I... Did I start them? Was I just distracted by the Terran? That might have happened. Goddamn it. Just double checking. Yeah. Okay, predictions are now open in the chat. I do apologize. This always happens whenever there's like a cannon rush or cheese in the early game. Like I get distracted. And last game it was the fact that Australia was playing Terran. So predictions are a little bit late, but they're now open in the chat for the series. Best of luck. I'll be more on top of it for the semis. I'll be on it, Pappy. I'll be on it. For now, though, Hatch Gas Pool. For now, standard opener out of Eon. Likewise, Australia going Rax Expand as well. So we're calming things down. Everything is looking a little bit more normal this time. This time, everything is looking by the book. I do think this is just going to be a better start, a more comfortable start for Eon. He can now freely take his third base. We can see as well that Australia is going Marine first, not Reaper. So this third hatchery is not going to be delayed. Instead, though, Australia is going to be threatening the Overlord.
Command center upgrade completed successfully.
Ah, it's Wyra. Australia, I think he's the only player that I know that uses Wyra as the announcer. Beautiful. The special tactics. As the Overlord does get away. I say that Australia, he's going to be hunting down the Overlord. And Rax is floating over. Overlord is no longer in this world. Very committed here by Australia. We'll snipe it. Oh, did I speak too soon? There we go. Overlord goes down. Eon gets supply blocked. Behind this, getting his third base. Double Overlord to recover. Australia does get back. I imagine looking to get into Hellion production. We'll see if he goes for a third CC or a starport. He's got the resources for the third. Oh, double foul! Oh my god! Never mind! Australia is banking minerals, but it is not for a CC. It's going to be for double factory production. Oh boy. I mean, the floating racks was a bit of a tell, but I mean, it's Australia, so it could be anything. Eon is still in the dark. Behind this, massing up Lings. Getting to his queen production. Again, it was delayed because of the supply block. So that is a lot of safety Lings. And we'll see if Eon can get a scout off. He will get eyes on the Hellions at least. Oh, I say that. Cyclone first. Once again, that is a tell. Lings moving forward, they can go for the surround. They get into the main base. Cyclone is surrounded, should be shut down as well. And the Lings, they get a full scout. Both factories are spotted. Cyclone production underway, SCVs are going down, and Australia's caught with his pants down. The pants are down, Papi. Lings will be cleaned up, that's 7 SCV kills. Oh my god. 7 SCVs, 2 Marines, and a Cyclone. And just like that, Eon does take a nice lead. Does take a lead, spreading his creep, droning up. This, of course, will tell him to throw down a Roach Warren to get into Ling Roach. Makes another wave of Lings. Moving out once again. I mean, these Cyclones are still, they're still vulnerable. Can he get the surround? Up! Well, he tries to. Nice hold position micro. Australia does wall off. Boys are being pulled. Cyclones are getting low. And instead, Eon settles for SCVs. Still not a bad trade. As Lings, they barely do trickle in. 6 SCV kills. It could have been worse. I mean, again, very nice positional play there from Australia. Does avoid the surround. And Australia holds. And this is now where I'm concerned for Eon. Because the first Ling Flood was good, the second one was okay, and now he's going for a third one. And his worker count is not ideal. But Eon is ready for a counterattack or a surround. Yeah, Lings, they bypass the main army. They're headed for the mineral line. The Hellions do respond, they do scouts, the main army turns back around. And this will buy time. So he forces back the main army, gets 3 SCVs, denies buying time at the natural. And back at home, still no Roach Warren. It's just Ling Queen. Just purely Ling Queen. And that can do well against Cyclone, but against a heavier Hellion count, that's where I'm concerned. As these things, they're quite fragile. Eon going into Infestation Pit? Ling Infester? He's crazy. Wait, what? Okay. I'm curious if this is for Infestors, Swarm Host, or a Hive. Or all three. Stray is moving out. Again, he's got a lot of Hellions. Stray is looking for the Lings. And he will find them. Yeah, massive Hellion volleys. Oof. Lings do melt. Cyclones respond. And this is not going to be the best trade for Eon. He will bleed out every single Ling. Very efficient here from Estrella. Eon bleeding out a lot of his army. His entire army even. And it is Ling Infester. Ling Infester. Bold move. I'm torn, Bobby. I'm torn. I feel like there is potential with this, but clearly Estrella is aware and he's playing very carefully. Just gonna be repairing his units. Estrella is now recovered with his worker count, with his mules. His economy is looking solid, building up more tanks. Tanks are spotted. Hive is on the way. Still no Roach Warren. Are we going Ling into Ultra against Mech? I mean, against Battle Mech, I can see this working. There's only, what, two tanks? So, Ling Ultra Infestor can pop off. Can. Stray scans ahead of time. Resplits his army. Eon trying to get ready. Waiting for that Ultra Cavern. But now Adrenal and Tutu are on the way. And there's the Ultra Cavern that we spoke of. And again, this can work, especially because Astray, he's still focusing on Hellion Cyclone. But the scan does reveal Astray. He spots the Ultra Cavern. He knows what's going on. There we go. Now getting back into tank production. Eon splitting up his units. And we'll get into the mineral line. SCVs are going to be going down. There are blue flame Hellions to defend. A lot of friendly fire. Oh my god. Yeah, 20 SCV kills. Astray, he races back home. And Eon is buying time. He's buying time. Ultra production has begun. I was going to say that I would prefer Banelings, like, as a bit of a stepping stone for Eon. Just because there are so many Hellions. And now Hellbats. And again, without Banelings, without Ultras, the Lings, they do nothing. They do nothing. Fungal connects, but doesn't matter. Okay, the Lings, they melt. Decent Fungals. Army breaks through. And 6 Ultras are on the way. There's another Fungal just buying time. Astray, he's breaking through. He's getting into the mineral line. Ultras, they pop out. Pop out. No kindness plating though. The Ultra's going to be that much more vulnerable. Drones, they pull away. 7 drone kills. And it looks like Eon, he will barely have enough. Takes out the tank. There's 1 tank left. And he should be able to get it. Tank goes down. Eon going for a counterattack. Stray getting caught unsieged. Not bad. Tank should go down, barely does. And Eon is just rallying everything across him. It's now or never for Eon. He has to break through. Big tank volleys going up. Astray trying to kite back. It's still so close. Another Ultra falls. And again, he has to pull away. Ultras get into the mineral line. It looks like Eon, he might just have too much. He's throwing it. Oh, the Depot. Depot keeping the tank alive a little bit longer. Tank goes down. GG gets called. Eon, he breaks through and he will tap the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. Whew. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played again. A very close timing with those ultras. Astray, he was across the map. He was getting into the mineral lines. He was breaking the third base, but the ultras, they popped out just in time to get on top of those Hellbats to clean up those tanks as well. GG, well played. We're going to game 3. We're going to game 3. Again, I was still very concerned for Eon. Very concerned. But he was barely able to pull it off. And now we're going to game 3. Going to game 3. Again, the Lings, they did do an amazing job when it came to buying time, getting into mineral lines, getting SCV kills, forcing Astrea all the way back home, time and time again. I say that happened twice. And every second was crucial to allow for those ultras to pop out. And now we're getting ready for game 3. Ooh, meanwhile, lower semifinals are ready for us. Do apologize. It looks like Trigger took down Xingming 2-0. Likewise, Geralt took down Hydra 2-0 as well. And Trigger versus Geralt will be after this series. We're getting there. We're getting there. Here we go. Aye. And looks like we have a confirmation here. Astray, he said that he was scared. He said, I'm scared, Pappy, I'm scared. And Astrea is going to be playing his main race. Did it pick his main race? And here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the American Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Virtus Pro. It is Astrea. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Costa Rican Zerg player, the purple Zerg, representing Team License to Kill. It is Eon. Striking fear into the heart of Astrea. Let's go. Max Angel, he's scared. He's concerned. Forced to play his main race, and this is where Eon cheeses the hell out of him, right? This is where he comes out swinging. Goes for a roach all in. Does something crazy. I want to believe. I want to believe here at Eon. Let's go. For now, hatch first. It is going to be hatch gas pool. Standard opener. Astrea likewise settling in with his gate expand. And again, Eon, he does have a lot of all-ins up his sleeve. I feel like Eon has potential for the upset to bring Astrea down. Now spawning pool has been thrown down. Astrea being as annoying as possible. Mining minerals in the main. See the chat. Come on, Astrea, put on your big boy pants and play Terran. Ah, true. Este Astrea. He's terrified, man. He's terrified. SMH. But for the time being, we're just calming things down. We're joining up. Eon investing into his first wave of Lings. Ling speed is on the way. Eon doesn't pull out. Interesting. So he hasn't pulled out a gas. Typically in this matchup, you'd pull out a gas, you'd focus on mineral income, but with extra gas mining already, this can lead into an early lair. This could lead into a Ling Queen Nidus all-in. This can lead into Dropper-Lord play. This could lead into a faster Roach Warren or even a Bailey Nest. This fast gas, it's telling that Eon is up to something. Typically at this level of play, you don't mine gas without good reason. So what's it gonna be? Predictions, Pappy. I'm gonna say Baneling Nest. Oh, let's go! Let's go, Pappy, let's go. I was like, it's too late for the lair. It's too late for the lair. I was it was 50-50 between Baneling Nest or Roach Warren, so it's gonna be a Bane Bust. It's gonna be a Bane Bust from Eon. Adept Shades in. Uh oh. Eon, oh sorry, Astrea does shade in, does not get eyes on the Bailey nest. Astrea's in the dark. And here come the Lings. It's all or nothing for Eon. It is going to be the Bane bust. Back at home, Astrea, he still has his wall off. Has the Adept. No shield battery. I mean, there's no reason. There's no reason for the shield battery. Adept does race back home. Astrea taking his third. Void Ray is on the way after the initial Oracle. That's a little bit concerning as well. Only one Oracle to defend instead of two. Oh, he scouts! He sees the Banelings! Banelings have been scouted. He knows. He knows, and now he's walling off. Yeah, full wall off here with the Cybercore. Recalls his Adepts as well. A massive scout for Astrea. He sees everything. And Eon, he cancels. He's droning. He's crazy. Eon's droning. He's droning up. Recognize that, of course, that this will not work. Okay, going for the Cybercore instead. Oracle activates his Pulsar Beam. Eon backs off. He's droning. He's saturating. And we're in a weird game state. On the one hand, Eon invested quite heavily into this and it's not really paying off, but at the same time he does at least delay the third, but only a delay. So Astrea, he's still ahead, he still has a massive worker lead. Eon has to at least force a cancel. And he should. And the base is denied. Takes out a probe. That's an okay start, but he needs more. Again, Astrea is still up in probes, up in economy. We need more damage. Lings, they come back in. They should force another cancel. Even going in for the surround, but they won't be able to. Yeah, there's a backup warp in. One of that falls. Lings retreat across the map. One drone goes down. Sorry, two workers. Two drones fall. Oracle taking a lot of damage. Astrea has yet to expand, but is taking up into +1 and a Twilight Council. Twilight Council now finishing up. Behind this, Eon going for Ling Hydra. Hydra Den on the way. Gas is now being taken. Eon is making 30 Lings. He's not droning. He's on 2 base saturation. Again, no drones here at the third. Ooh, the Oracle does spot all the Lings. Massive scout. Adepts are moving out across the map. Lings in position. And Shade is denied. Adepts racing back. Eon and now droning up, but again, these workers are so delayed. Yeah, this time he won't be able to deny the expansion. Has to back off. Hydras are amassing. As Eon, he's on 44 workers. Stay strapped into that. Oh no! Doesn't react! Yeah, massive connection. Almost the entire mineral line. One drone is able to mine. 15 workers get caught. Ay, not like this. Eon, not like this. And at this point, Eon's all in. He is completely all in. Should be looking to move out with this army, but it's not really that much to work with. I mean, there's no Immortals, there's no Colossus, there's no Storm. True. But the Oracle does get the revelation. The army is scouted, it's spotted. Storm is now on the way. And once Storm finishes, I don't really see this working. Is moving out. And yeah, the Bailings, they crash in. They won't be able to get much done. We have plenty of shield batteries. 5 shield batteries are ready for this. And Astrea, he's a brick wall. At this point, he is a brick wall. He will shut down the main army, collapses on the Hydra. Storm goes off as well. And that's all that Eon really had left. Again, the Bane bust had to end the game earlier. Denying the third base was nice and all, but it just was not enough. And And now Astray is snowballing out of control. We see Eon, he's taking up into lurkers. He's trying to saturate his bases, but still a low drone count. Eon has mass link, but they can't really do much here against this kind of army. And as long as Astray doesn't make any major mistakes, he should be able to take this. I mean, I say that Astray, he's taking a 4th base, +1 air attack. Astray, he's turtling up. Fleet Beacon's on the way, 2nd Stargate, and he's embracing Skytoss. So Astray is rushing to Skytoss. Ay, ay, ay. And that means the game will progress. This does mean that Eon has a chance to try to recover and drone up. I say that, 2 more drones go down. And especially because this is the ace match, I mean, it makes sense for Estrella. He's just turtling up. He's turtling up, building up more High Templar, Storm. Can soon begin carrier production as well. And it's possible that Estrella won't move out until he maxes. There we go, the first carrier's on the way. But Estrella's being active. Likewise, Eon going for some drop lords towards the left-hand side. Drop lords are loading up. Estrella likewise getting ready. Okay, it is going to be a lurker drop, actually. And it is out of vision. Has potential. Zarsa spotted. Oh. And Stray, he doesn't take the bait. He doesn't keep pushing. Lurkers dropped in. And there is no detection. But it's coming. The Observer's on the way. And we have plenty of Zealots to work with. Yeah, Lurkers, they get surrounded, they get completely cleaned up. Lurkers on their own, they're quite fragile. And they do go down. It's a big loss for Eon. Lings, they hit the front lines, but alas for Storms. 1 High Templar goes down. 46 Lings. The trades were brutal. And Astray is almost maxed. Here we go. The carriers have arrived. Astray is now maxed out. And now he can push. Clean up all this creep. Head towards the natural. Splitting off towards the 3rd. Storm's connecting once again. And, I mean, these are the only lurkers that are left. They'll say bust into the mineral lines. They break through the 3rd. Storm's connecting as well. And Eon, he did well making it to the ace match, and the all-in earlier, the Bane Bust had potential. Alas, it got scattered. If you recall, it did get scattered early on. Astray able to respond in time. Now Eon is just started stepping his heart out, down to 3 Hydras, down to 2, down to 1. The final Hydra goes down, GG gets called, and Astray will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the semifinals. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations, Estrella will take the series at 2-1. Will advance on. My condolences to Eon, but a nice series nonetheless. Was able to definitely pose a threat to Estrella's Terran at least. Was able to make him second guess himself when it came to, you know, picking his races and how he should approach Eon as well. And there was also potential with the all-in, if only it wasn't scattered. If you recall, as soon as Estrella saw the Banelings, he cancelled his 3rd base, he threw down a full wall at the natural, did recall his adepts, and yeah, he was just so secure at that natural base. Eon tried to transition out of that, but it was still a rough road to travel there for Eon. GG. GG, well played. Now we're jumping into the semifinals. Jumping into the semis, and ID time. I'm just trying to set up. go. The teams might be a little bit wrong, but it's fine. We're jumping into lower segments, jumping into our PvP, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Oceanborn. We have the Canadian Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Basilisk. It is Trigger. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the Polish Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is Geralt. Here we go, and if you're in the chat, predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series, on who you believe will be the first finalist of the night. Here we go. We have our two Protoss players. Again, the upper semifinals will be played after this, so Australia will have some time to rest up, to recuperate, to go over his life choices. Did he pick the correct race? Aye. As we can focus on our lower match instead. Again, Geralt, he was missing in action. He was MIA last night in Sparkling Tuna Cup. Nowhere to be found. But he is here facing off against Trigger. It's going to be a 2-gate opener from Trigger. Likewise, 2-gate opener out of Geralt. This is a rematch from last week. If you were here in the previous week for Tenacious Turtle Tussle, you will know that Geralt and Trigger, they had a best of 3. They went all the way to the ace match, and they had a banger of a PvP where Geralt was able to embrace the late game. Likewise, Trigger was able to meet in there as well. Geralt having a unique approach to PvP where he would often rush into Disruptors, then into Sky Toss, and kind of force his late game scenario. We've seen that time and time again out of Geralt, and we'll see if he does it again this week. Shall see. I love both of them. Calm votes. Oh no. But yes, as someone is asking in the chat, and we went over it during the podcast last week, but Geralt is still technically on Sidestorm Gaming. We were informed last week that he is on the team, but he is looking for a team, if that makes sense. So, basically, there's no kind of like lock-in contract for Geralt. Has publicly announced that he's looking for another place to call home, but until he finds a new team, he's still on Sidestorm Gaming. That is the current news of the state of Geralt. So hoping he can find a nice new home. Hoping. That does mean that we're going to have to fix up Wikipedia. Yeah. We'll fix it up. So we'll try to inform the Wikipedia editors, maybe after today's broadcast, to fix that up. Otherwise, for now, Geralt's going for the Proxy Dark. Let's go! It was a Twilight Council across the map, and he's going for the Proxy Dark Shrine here towards the bottom left-hand corner of the map. A cheeky build here out of Geralt. Again, if Trigger skips out of the Robo, if he delays the Robo a little bit longer, if he's too greedy, if he cuts corners, then the game may just end. Oh boy. Here we go. As a hallucination, it moves out to scouts. Trigger gets eyes on the initial tech. Behind the mineral line, gets eyes on the Twilight Council, sees it researching as well, is aware of Blink, and now I'm concerned. Now I'm that much more concerned for Trigger. Now he can react and he can try to buy time for the Robo, but it's going to be heavily delayed. Hallucination dives in, Geralt, he smiles to himself, no Robo, third base, Trigger being too greedy. Just a little bit too greedy. I mean, what are the chances that your opponent is hiding a Dark Shrine of all things? It's not the most common of builds, but it punishes this specifically. As here comes a third, and zero detection. Zero detection. Here come the first wave of DTs. They're warping in. DTs are on the way. They are slow warp-ins, so this is giving Trigger a little bit more time to react. A little bit, but, oh boy, Robo. Okay, Robo gets thrown down in the main. And again, because these warp-ins are slow, Trigger has time. Going for a counterattack. The main armies do pass by each other. Oh, we're going for a base. Oh, okay. Geralt does turn back around. Third base will be denied. DT finally waddling in. The Robo is halfway done. Yeah, boys are being pulled away. DTs are getting damage done. At the same time, though, Trigger is pushing in towards the natural. Forced to recall. Did deny the third. So far, buying time. Does fully wall. No! The force field was misplaced. DT gets in. Probes are going down. Yeah, workers are falling, and this is too much. This is too much. This is 10 workers already falling, and we're not done. 10 probes going down. Third base being retaken. Boys being pulled away, very far away. And this is the power of the Invisible Man. Oof. Getting up to 14 plus probe kills. 20 probes go down. Ay, ay, ay. The Observer has finally arrived, but it is a little bit too little too late. Geralt has a massive worker lead. And Trigger, he has some catching up to do. Shield batteries on the way. Geralt's main army isn't large enough to really contest against the third, so Geralt has to calm down. Oh, getting punished. Nice blink. Takes down the sentries. Geralt has to back up. And Geralt, he has to just wait for his economy to kick in. Now, on the one hand, yes, Geralt has a massive worker lead. He's up 12 probes, but his third base was denied earlier, so he has long distance mining. He has inefficient economy here back at home, so it's not as bad as it could be. Trigger is still in this. He is still in this. Has some recovering to do, that is true, but the game isn't just over. It could have been, though. It could have been over. If the DTs hit any sooner, if the warp-ins were any faster, maybe. Now that adepts get caught out. Trigger still down 10 workers. Still building up, getting to +1. Meanwhile, over time, Geralt's main army is getting larger and larger. Fourth base on the way. Trigger out of position. Geralt does push right down mid. In between the bases, takes down the shield battery. Gets a probe. And catching a couple of zealots. Trigger coming in from behind. Geralt blinking over. From here he can recall. Or just blink down to the low ground. Geralt getting another 5 probe kills. And we'll get away. So Geralt, he just maintains his economic lead. Backing off, getting to +2. Maintains his upgrade lead as well. Reinforcements. Charge kicking in for both players. And Trigger now forced to invest into Immortal production. I mean, Trigger is going to have to be the defender. Going to be stuck at home, moving out with Hallucination. Getting a read on what's going on. Gets eyes on the 4th base saturation. Ah. Gets eyes on the 4th. A bit of a better fight for Trigger. Does force back the army. Doesn't quite pick anything up yet. Oh! No! The move command! A bit of a misrally. Misrouted Immortal. Immortal goes down for free. Ay, ay, ay. Not like this. We can't afford these losses. And you can see Geralt now taking a massive supply lead. As we mentioned earlier, Geralt, he just needed a little bit more time for his economy to really kick in, and now it has. That's reflected here with a 40 supply lead. Geralt pushing forward, with 2 Immortals. And he can keep going. No War Prism, unfortunately. War Prism is just now on the way. Geralt rotating around. Looking for another way in. War Prism has arrived. Now we can reinforce on the front lines. Ooh, a little bit supply blocked, unfortunately. Pylon's just now finishing up. There we go. Geralt now with a 50 supply lead. That's a lot of supply. That's a lot of soup, man. Yeah, blinks in, takes out the Prism, going for the Archons. Targets them down one after the other. The Archons fall, the Immortal as well, and the Geralt will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, the DTs did critical damage. Didn't straight up end the game, but it did set Geralt up for success. Did critical damage. And with that, was able to just get further and further ahead. Snowball out of control with his economy, with his army. And take a lead. Does take a lead. GG, well played. Now we're jumping into game 2. Now, when it comes to this series, when it comes to game number 2 here, we didn't really get to see the best of Trigger just because of the initial opener. DTs did cripple him at the start of the game. Because that, he was playing from behind. I'm sure this time we'll see a more even back and forth here, and we'll see if Trigger can use this to recover. See if he can recover. We'll see if he can force the ace match, or if it all ends here and now. And Geralt is 1 game away from taking the entire series. I don't see him rushing into DTs 2 games in a row. I don't see that happening. I imagine he's going to calm down, but we'll see. We shall see. As we're loading into Golden Aura. And as we're settling in, a massive shout out to Ryu in the chat. Ga, papi, ga. Good night, have fun. Buenas noches, papi, buenas noches. Did notice the raid earlier during the game, so I apologize for not giving a shout out earlier, but thank you so much, Ryu. Gracias, gracias. Gracias, papi, gracias. As we're getting into game number 2 and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Golden Aura, we have the Canadian Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Basilisk. It is Trigger. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Polish Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is Geralt. Can ducks speak Spanish? This duck can. This pato can. Quack, papi, quack. Por supuesto, por supuesto. Soy peruano. Ay, ay, ay. As it is going to be a double gas opener into double gate, I'm sure. We are settling in. The probes are moving out. And again, even though we had Geralt pop off last game with a proxy Dark Shrine, I can't imagine he does that 2 games in a row. I mean, he could, if he's crazy. Could go for the proxy 2 games in a row, but he's not that wild. Right? Question mark? We'll see. We shall see. Yeah, we even have one of our emotes with a duck with a mariachi hat. El mariachi hat. It's beautiful. As the probe does back up, both players throwing down their second pylons in the main. There's no proxy pylon, there's no fake proxy pylon either. Everything is looking as it should. And a Trigger does open up Double Stalker. Double Stalker against Stalker Sentry. So Geralt's going for a bit of a safer opener, or a more defensive opener, I should say. Sentry does allow us to hallucination scout across the map. Trigger with Double Stalker can follow this up with additional Stalkers, with Double Adept, can move out, and can be more aggressive, can be more assertive. And we have our answer. Double Stalker into a 3rd and 4th Stalker as well. So Trigger's going to be more aggressive, he's going to be moving out across the map. army expanding. Geralt's going for additional sentries. Safety shield battery is on the way. We'll see what Trigger can get done. As he's now up to 4 Stalkers. That's a lot of Stalkers. And he's moving out. He is moving out. If there wasn't a safety shield battery, he could kind of break through this. Sniper sentry, 2, even deny the 3rd, or deny the natural. Army moves out, and the shield battery is done in time. Geralt should be safe. At the same time, Hallucination gets into the main, spots the Twilight Council. Geralt is aware. Stalkers poke in, and have to back off. Do have to back off. Trigger shaving off some shields. Nothing major. Likewise, Twilight Council opener out of Geralt as well. Both players rushing into Blink. And Trigger does retreat. Does follow up with 2 more Adepts. So he can try to bypass the main army and get into the mineral line. I'm trying to keep up. El Quaco. Oh my god. Ay, ay, ay. Not like this. Este pecoeta. As Debs they do shade into main, they can launch our probes. But they just get the 2 though. And 2 probes go down. Adepts get cleaned up. So better trade for Geralt. This Trigger does trade 2 for 2. And now players will back up. Both players are expanding, taking their 3rd bases. Geralt is going to be the first to move out with his main army. And with these force fields, he can try to catch Trigger off guard. That's the thing, there is a small window here where neither player has blink, so force fields can be brutal. Speaking of, oh! One sword gets pulled out, nice force field out of Trigger. And Geralt retreats. I mean, we could have seen a major clash, and we could have seen either player pick off like 2, 3, 4 Stalkers. But Geralt, he wants none of it. Gets the hell out of there. And the game is going to calm down. Going to calm things down from here. I say that Trigger moves out once again. Is spotted by the Hallucination. Geralt out of position. Racing back. Uh-oh. Geralt's not where he needs to be. Oh my god. Geralt throwing down those force fields. A little bit premature, but he was terrified. So some panic force fields out of Geralt. Does hold. Adepts threatening shade towards the natural. Trigger pushing in. Adepts, they do get into the main, actually. Uh-oh. Shade into the main base. Probes are going down. At the same time, Trigger, he pulls it. He does pull the trigger. He's going for the 3rd. Does head for the 3rd base. Oh, bleeding out a sentry. And a Stalker as well. Not the best trades from Trigger. But he does get 3 probes in the main. And he backs off. And Geralt holds. Does hold on. From here, Trigger getting into Jar Jar Archon Immortal. Likewise, so is Geralt. I mentioned before that Geralt, he has been known to kind of skip tech and rush into disruptors, but that is not the case this time. Not this time for the Blue Protoss. Both players' tech looking quite similar. Geralt moving out, going for the 4th. Can he force a cancel? It's going to be close. Looks like he will. 4th base is denied. For the cost of 1 Stalker so far. And Geralt gets away. Trigger forced to rebuild. Now Geralt's 4th base is comparable with that of Trigger. Base is now quite closer. The other big difference here, I believe, yeah, there is no Temple Archives. Oh, now we see why. No Temple Archives, no Archons for Geralt. I mentioned before that Geralt is quite fond of disruptors, and we can see here and now. The bay is on the way. That should be for disruptor production. Geralt, he's working on it. Working on those disruptors, and because we're on Golden Aura, this game can progress even longer, and we can head into the late game. Depending on whether or not Trigger can break Geralt before he gets into a mass amount of disruptor. Before he hits critical mass. We'll see if he can. Rotating around. Going for the fourth. The bay is done, but no disruptors, not yet. Trigger pushing in, no Archons either. Zealots can reign supreme. And Geralt is equal with his pants down. Before he gets into disruptors, before Archons as well. And Trigger, he's trading well. Getting into all the Stalkers. Immortal has arrived. Zoning Geralt away from his own fourth. And Trigger, he just reinforces with more Zealots. That's a lot of Stalkers though. And fourth base goes down. Trigger backs off at the same time. Zealots towards the left hand side, but there's an overcharge. Geralt holds. He does hold. He may have lost an expansion, but he survives. And now he can embrace those disruptors. The balls, they're coming back. They're coming. Ah. Second Robo disruptor production has begun. Geralt is up against the wall, but with one good Nova, with two good Novas, he can hold, he can survive. He can get into a later game. Trigger doing everything he can to end the game here and now, though. Denies the fourth once again. Nova goes off, doesn't connect. Uh-oh. Yeah, the Nova doesn't quite connect, and now Trigger, he's diving in once again. And he's so close to breaking Geralt here and now. He gets the disruptor, getting on top of the Robos. And Robo is denied. Trigger pulling back, warping into the main. The other Robo is saved. Geralt, he defends. He holds. Once again, Geralt holding on. Trigger up in expansion. Up in economy. So Geralt gets up to one disruptor once again. Getting into those disruptors. Trigger taking another expansion, getting a fifth. Does push forward, Nova goes off. Up! Does connect! Massive connection on the Archon and a Stalker. Disruptor almost going down, and we come in for the surround. Oh, and that's Trigger overextended. Yeah, the concave in favor of Geralt. Second Disruptor has arrived. Nova goes off. Ooh, doesn't quite connect. But the army is battered and bruised for Trigger. The Stalkers are barely holding on. Zeal's coming in to reinforce. At the same time, well, the main base under fire. 20 probes go down, and Trigger, he pulls Geralt apart. GG gets called. Trigger ties up the series 1-1. GG. As that fight was going on off screen in the main base, there was a warband of Zealots. There was Zealots in the main. 20 probes went down. Geralt, he was pulled apart, was unable to stabilize, unable to hold on. We're going to game 3. We're going to that ace match. Let's go. Whew. Let us go. And again, this series can still go either way, as the ace match is going to be on Alcyone. Yeah, getting ready for that ace match. Here we go, we're jumping on in. It's going to be one of the larger maps in the map pool, going to be loading into Alcyone. Let's go. And again, there was a lot of pressure on Trigger to end the game then and there before Geralt was able to hit critical mass of disruptors. He never had more than one at a time. And was never allowed to expand and take a fourth base either. Trigger just would not allow it, and here we go, we're getting into the ace match, and spawning in the top right hand corner of Alcyone, and we have our Canadian Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Basilisk. It is Trigger. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Polish Protoss player, the Blue Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is Geralt. Here we go. Here we go. Gonna be settling in. Now, after what happened in game 2, do we go back to shenanigans? does Geralt, does he embrace a proxy Dark Shrine once again in the ace match? Is he that crazy? Is he that bold? It's possible. I mean, hey, it worked in game 1. We'll see. Bring on the DTs. Oh no. Not again, Bappy, not again. As Geralt's moving out, so is Trigger. Huh. Oh no! Do pass by each other. Do pass by, moving out across the map. Shout out to the turtle. And it is going to be a 2-gate opener. There's no hidden proxy. There's no fake proxy. No one is mining out minerals and hiding on the right-hand side or anything crazy like that. Nothing wild. We're just calming things down, scouting each other. Geralt will get eyes on the second pylon, likewise so will Trigger. So both players are aware that everything's looking as it should. No proxy. Why do we have a platypus? Because it's a duck, kind of. Not really. It's like an Australian duck. Beautiful. Why do we have a turtle? These are questions that we shouldn't be asking. Don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it. It's trying to be a duck. Exactly, exactly. It's fine. As Trigger is going to be going for his expansion. Did open up Stargate, likewise so did Geralt. Uh-oh. Let's go. Both players are opening up Stargate. Trigger moving out with his double adept. Can threaten a shade. Likewise, Geralt moving out with his stalkers. Runs into the adepts. Shade is cancelled. Trigger getting caught out. Does try to make use of that steam vent, but the last one adept does get picked up. Better start for Geralt. Gonna be reinforcing with another Stalker. Oh, and does collapse from the depths once again. Oh, Trigger's in trouble. Trigger, he is in trouble, bleeding out every single depth. That's 4 depths going down. That's a lot of units early on. Is racing back home. There's 1 adept left. 1 Stalker. Sure, there's a shield battery, but Geralt has momentum. He knows it. He's moving out across the map. Oracle's on the way for both players. Trigger reinforcing. Shield battery still on the way. Gets another adept. Geralt pulling back. Meanwhile, on the main base, there's a shield battery. No shield battery for Trigger. Ay, ay, ay. And Trigger, he's not ready. He's not prepared. Oracle does dive in. Probes are going down. It's going to be 3, 4 probe kills in the main. 5 probe kills. Oracle taking a lot of hits. Oracle goes down, a massive pickup at the same time. Stalkers, they hit the natural. More probes falling. 7 workers going down. And with that, Geralt takes a massive economic lead. Trigger has potential with his own Oracle, but again, with a shield battery, it's hard to get damage done. Not impossible, but difficult. So the Oracle goes for the dive, gets a stasis trap, but alas, Geralt does react. Oh! Still gets caught out though. 2 probes and 2 stalkers. That is some damage. Still not ideal. Behind this, Twilight Council's on the way. The probes are falling. And right now, the disparity doesn't really look too great here, but we're just waiting for the economy to really kick in for Geralt. His production underway as well. Getting into 4 gates. Is that the second Oracle? Ooh, second Oracle goes down. This time not for much. So a better trade for Trigger. Trigger is recovering, leading out more Adepts. He's trying to catch up on Blink. Blink is on the way. Yeah, Geralt, he's not holding back. He's going for a 5th proxy gateway. Yeah, 5th gate is on the way. It's 4 back at home, and it's going to be a big committed 2-base push from Geralt. I mean, Geralt, he knows he has an advantage. He knows he's ahead. So he's going for the kill. Nice scout here out of Trigger. Does realize what's going on. Cancels the 3rd. 3rd base is denied. But at least Trigger knows. He's getting ready. He's getting ready at the natural. Does wall off. Geralt's going for the cult. Why not? Rushing into the goal base. Containing his opponent on 2 bases as well. Ooh, and Geralt, he can dive into the main. He can, and he will. Blinks on in. Takes down a Stalker. Gets a Pylon. Can't really engage the main army. But does get 3 more probes. Oh. 4 probe kills the shield batteries themselves, forcing inefficient mining as well. 6 probe kills. 6 workers go down. Geralt once again makes sure there's no 3rd. Just containing Trigger on 2 bases for as long as possible. And Geralt, he can take this trade as well. Reinforcing on the front lines. Out-trades Trigger. Geralt trying to push up the ramp, though. Trigger, can he hold on? Can he hold? Looks like it's going to be close. Blinks are on point, but alas, Geralt, he does break through. Once again, contains Trigger. Kills the probe, denies the 3rd. And Geralt, his gold, it's getting saturated. There's the recall. Goal base getting up and running. Oof. Once again, Trigger, he just can't expand. It's all he wants. He just wants a 3rd base. Not like this. 3rd base finally being taken. It's finally on the way. After Geralt's already saturated. And Geralt, he's still just out trading Trigger. Taking down more Stalkers. And at this point, it's just a numbers game. At this point, Trigger is just being outscaled. Just cannot keep up. I mean, he can micro his heart out, but he's still just down in economy, down in production, down in army. Here, the stupid doesn't lie, man. It's not lying. God, he goes for the dive. He goes for the kill. Did go all the way to the ace match. But here, Geralt just had a massive lead early on. Crippled the economy. And it just never allowed Trigger to expand. Can never take a 3rd. Geralt, he can just keep reinforcing. I mean, the Oracle's done a lot. That's 11 probe kills. Jesus. 11 workers go down. Worker counts are comparable, but Trigger's oversaturated, and Geralt has the gold. So, still better mining. The Solots are coming in. Let's go. Slow lots buffering. Trigger taking the linear 3rd instead. Oh. We good? Charge still fine. There we go. Finally just finishing up. And Geralt taking back once again. Gets another Immortal. Another Immortal goes down. Rotating over towards the shield battery. Brings it down as well. I mean, Geralt's reinforcements, they take a while to really get going, but they do finally arrive. And it's just been an uphill battle here for Trigger. No shield battery, no overcharge. Army gets caught out in between the bases, and GG gets called. It's just too much to overcome, and Geralt will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Geralt will take it again. He had a massive lead early on, just crippling the economy of Trigger. And from there, he was able to just double down on Stalker production, able to contain Trigger on 2 bases with that advantage, with that lead, and then just get further ahead, taking a 3rd base as the goal base as well, just ensuring that he doesn't fall behind, ensuring that he can even just take some bad trades, some inefficient fights, and still overwhelm, still overcome. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to Geralt. My condolences to Trigger as he is knocked out here in the semifinals, but a shout out nonetheless because, hey, you made it to top 4, and top 4 do get paid out in this tournament. Do still get paid out. GG, well played. And now we're jumping into our next semifinals. Shout out to Estrella and Honmono. They've been patiently waiting. They have been patiently waiting, and now we can jump into another best of 3. And the winner will face off against Geralt. And Geralt, he has some time to himself. He can take a moment to take a break, get some food, get some rest, as he's in those grand finals. And is it going to be a PvP finals or a PvT? It's going to be up to you to decide. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Golden Aura, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Team Hyper 1. It is Honmono. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the American Protoss player, the Blue Protoss representing Virtus Pro. It is Estrella. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is time to get your gamba going, as predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will take the series. Best of luck. Estrella is coming in as the heavy favorite, is what I will say. At the same time, though, Honmono is an animal. Honmono is a beast. Honmono, what does he do in this matchup? Time and time again, 2 base all-ins. Just non-stop all-ins, pull the boys left and right whenever he can, even 1 base all-ins. It is what Honmono is known for. He's known for hyper-aggression in this matchup. He can macro, don't get me wrong. He can macro, but even then his macro is also... Oh my god, as the SCV goes down. Worker does fall this probe with 1 kill already. He's got the 1 kill. So a better start for Estrella. Meanwhile, across the map, eBay block here on the low ground. Honmono will delay the expansion and will force, potentially, the unnatural natural. As the eBay is almost done. And Estrella is going to be forced to expand elsewhere. The probe will confirm. Hold up, where is the expansion? Where is the CC? What's going on? Now he knows. Now Estrella realizes what's going on. And he's forced to expand here towards the left-hand side. SV also on patrol. Will delay even further, forcing the triangular third instead. And just a very exposed expansion for Estrella. Going to be very awkward to defend both the main base and the natural at the same time, especially considering that what Honmono is known for. What he's known for is all-ins. So this might be an awkward defense for Estrella. We'll see. Factory is on the way. Honmono should be expanding from here. Again, this should still be leading into 2 base play, but I mean, it's Honmono. We'll see. As Honmono is opening up double Cyclone, and I'm curious if Honmono is going to go mass Cyclone. Honmono does have many builds up his sleeve, and one of them is just making non-stop cyclones in this matchup. Now, this used to be a very common response to the unnatural natural. It used to actually be quite broken. I say broken. It used to be very strong and very powerful and very difficult to defend, but this was at the start of the year in the previous cyclone patch. Back when the cyclone was a lot more powerful, back when massing cyclone was a lot more commonplace, that's when that was done. But here it looks like only two. Only double cyclone. Mono falling back on Hellions behind this. So double cyclone into Hellion. As a reminder, it does take 3 Hellions to one-shot a probe. 2 Hellions with 2 shots. There you go, extra Hellions on the way. And the goal here is to threaten either the unnatural natural or the main. Kind of poke between the two of them, find an opening, find a weak point, and then dive in. You'll see Homeowner splitting up his army, trying to distract Estrella. Again, Estrella is spread thin. One probe goes down. Hellions rolling in. Again, you can see Homeowner trying to keep the attention of Estrella here at the natural. Estrella does have a spotter pylon. Will have time to react. Cyclone's getting in the lock-on, picking off the Adept. Hellions, they dive in! Ooh, 4 Hellions into the main base, forcing a recall. And Homeowner doesn't commit, doesn't take the risk, he pulls away, going for the natural. And Estrella out of position. Probes are going down. Good positioning with that Stalker, does wall off. Slow warp in to defend. The probes, they're lighting up! Oh my god! Casito, barely nuts. Yeah, the Hellions, they do not get in. Only 4 probe kills, that could have been so much worse. Estrella holds. Whew. Estrella does hold on, does survive, only 4 worker kills, and Homeowner backs off. Does retreat back, getting his natural up and running. Whew, we can take a moment. we can take a breath, we can calm down, and we can settle in. Ooh, Estrella even taking out another Cyclone. Not bad. Hellions rotating around. Remember, they do 2 shots. Second volley comes in. Up! Oh my god. Barely not shield battery does top off those probes. That's going to be 4 more probes going down though. A lot of damage. Same time, Estrella picking off a tank. Nice pick off. 1 tank goes down. Estrella does defend. Now he's moving out with his entire army. Blink is done. That's a lot of Stalkers. And Estrella's getting ready for the dive. Baits out the tank shots. Blinks in. Does focus it down. Ooh. Does get it in the end. We'll bleed out a lot of Stalkers in the process. A lot of Stalkers falling. As the 3rd tank has arrived. More volleys going up. But I do appreciate this set from Estrella. I mean, it's costing me a lot of Stalkers. That's 4 Stalkers to 2 tanks. That is a rough trade. But as it keeps the tank count low, that is going to weaken the all-in. Assuming that Homeowner does pull the boys. And it's Homeowner, so I feel like he will. Again, Estrella just keeping that tank count low. Once again, takes a shot to the face. Still building up. Estrella expanding, taking a 3rd. This 4th is fully saturated. Homeowner just trying to fortify himself. Now up to 2 tanks. Estrella once again trying to bait out those shots. Does think better of it. Dipping in with the Observer. Can threaten the main. Marines are in position. And Estrella, he doesn't care. He blinks in. Stim is done. And Estrella's going to be punished for this. We're bleeding out 2 Stalkers. Bleeding out 3 Stalkers. Once again, a better trade for Homeowner, trading out minerals for gas. Estrella overextending. Estrella does overextend. Oh, scan reveals the Observer. Goes down, nice pickup. And Homeowner is waiting for those medevacs. Once they pop out, he can push. Well, Estrella looks like his splash damage is not going to be Colossus. He's working towards Storm. There we go. Homeowner is getting ready. Ghost production has begun. Skin reveals the third. Real saturation. And Homeowner, he has to make a choice. Does he commit? Does he break out? He's also spotted. Marine stimming in. Catching a Stalker. Oh! Two Stalkers left. Storm is about to finish. And I don't see a third CC. I feel like it's almost time. Now, when it comes to these High Templar, of course, there are EMPs available. There are those Ghosts. So it's going to be a bit of a dance between those two units, those two Spellcasters. A lot of Zealots are amassing here for Estrella. Estrella, he wants to fight out in the open with this many Zealots. Homeowner spreading out his forces. Clearing up stray Zealots. That's 3 High Templar, 3 Storms. Stray catching out some of these Marines. And the army is split. Homeowner getting caught out. Widowmine shot doesn't go up. Nice feedbacks, nice Storm. But the High Templar, they go down. And Homeowner, he can commit. And now's the time. Stimming across the map. 1 Stalker left. There's 1 High Templar back at home. 2 High Templar. I believe there's 1 Storm ready. Homeowner does have an EMP, but the Storm is in the Prism, and that's a lot of Zealots. That's a lot of Zealots diving in. EMP misses. He does not connect. Zealots are breaking in. Still no third CC behind this. Homeowner is committed. Oh. Nice EMP on the Zealots. Jesus, that is still so many Zealots here for Estrella. Coming in from behind. It dives on the tanks. First tank goes down. Storm's coming in. Now zoned away. There's still 2 High Templar in the... Oh! Oh my god. First Storm doesn't quite connect. There's 1 Storm left. Army stimming in. Oh! Prism once again zoned away. He wants it! He wants the Prism! He gets it! Prism goes down! Uh-oh. And that's 0 High Templar. 0 Storms left. Estrella has to evacuate. He gives up on the 4th. Reinforcements getting caught out. And Homeowner, he has to keep going. Scans ahead of time. Now there's 1 High Templar. Zealot's getting ready for the surround. Estrella is setting up. Homeowner rotating, is taking his time. That is giving more time for Estrella to build up that energy and get the Storm ready. And he may not even need it. Comes in for the full surround. And he collapses on the main army. Tank falls. And the Bio army just cannot hold its own. Massive losses here for Homeowner, but Liberators have arrived. He has freedom. Freedom is here. Is it enough, though? Army pushing forward. There we go. The boys are being pulled. Of course they are. Flanking Storm's coming in. Oh! Massive Storm on the army. Oh my god. An insane Storm. The boys, are they too late? Did he tank some of those Zealot swipes? Not bad. Army stimming in. It's still close. Still very close. Once again, though, another surround. Zealots, they come in from behind. They sandwich the army. And it looks like Estrella, he should be able to clean this up. And he shuts down the main army, takes down the SCVs. It was close. Nice split there with those Zealots. Homeowner, he still has some Marauders left over. Still has an army to work with. Stutter stepping his heart out. Good mind shot. Oh my god. Widowmine goes off, takes out the Zealots. Catching out the Stalkers. There are 2 High Templar. They're gathering energy as we speak. Immortal goes down. In a couple of seconds, they will have Storm ready. Again, Estrella, time and time again, he barely has enough energy for a Storm. Barely buys time. Meanwhile, Homeowner picking up his main, landing it as a 3rd. Let's go. Getting it saturated. The probe does get eyes on that saturation. Estrella is somewhat aware. And as the game goes longer, it's getting better and better for Estrella. He's just outscaling his opponents, getting into +2 now. Now a 2nd High Templar, 2nd Storm. And Homeowner was all in. He was essentially all in, and he almost broke Estrella, almost, but not quite. And now things are looking a little bit more bleak here for Honmono. He backs off, and now does he decide to turtle? What's the plan? Does he pull the boys for a 2nd time? Does he turtle up and try to take a 4th CC? Or 3rd CC? What's it going to be? As Homeowner's falling behind in the supply. Does scan. There are now 4 High Templar. Acceleron by moving out. One of the Storms gets wasted. Snipes the High Templar. There's still 3 High Templar left. Storms do threaten. Zealots from behind. And that's clean up the Widow Mines. It's 3 Widow Mines going down. Oh! Pretty good Widow Mine connections, though. Homeowner races back home. Cleans up most of the Zealots. Still 2 High Templar. Oh, Liberty gets sniped. Estrella going for the mineral line, going for the run by. Storm grazes the army. And still another Storm in the chamber, and here we go. Homeowner, he's all in. It's all or nothing. Here come the Storms. Oh, the feedbacks even. That's EMP. Storm comes in. Not the best connection. Homeowner, can he break through this? Can he keep going? Overcharge gets popped. Nice EMP on the Stalkers. Stalkers getting zoned away. The Zealots across the map are wreaking havoc, catching reinforcements. But there is another EMP. Oh my god. The Storms, though. The Storms are brutal. Nexus goes down across the map. Oh, 19 SCV kills. High Templar is saved, just barely. I want to say there's still 1 Storm behind this. And Storm does connect. That was the final Storm for Estrella. The boys are being pulled. Homeowner up against the wall. Trading against the pros with the probe kills. That's not good enough. And Homeowner, he's just running out of units, just barely running out of steam. GG gets called. There's nothing left. There's Estrella. He survives. He takes game 1. GG. Whew. GG. Well played. A very, very tense game as Homeowner was 2 base all in for 16 minutes. For a very long time. And there were some good moments there for Homeowner where he was able to avoid some Storms or snipe some High Templar, snipe the Warp Prism, get some good Widowmine shots, but last it barely was not enough. And in the end, Estrella did survive. Does take a lead in the series. Does take a lead. GG, well played. Now we're getting ready for game number 2. Jumping into game 2, it's going to be on Oceanborn. Yes, Hung Mono, Poppy. Hung Mono. Let's go. As you can tell, I'm still quite tired. I did not sleep much last night. Not much at all. Smurge. After this cast, I'm most likely going to be going to bed. I'll take a nap and get ready for the next cast. For those that are curious, later on tonight, in how many hours time? In 9 hours. 9 hours from this moment, from this message, we will be casting the Wardy TV Monday. Wardy TV Monday is later on tonight. I say 9 hours. I think it's in 9.5 hours, correct? Yeah, 9 hours and 30 minutes. That should be enough to. That should be enough to get some sleep. You can see I'm like slurring my words. Ay. Should be enough time. But here we go. We're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran representing Team Hyper 1. It is Hon Mono. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent, we have the American Protoss player, the Blue Protoss representing Virtus Pro, leading the series 1-0, 1 game away from advancing on to the Grand Finals. It is Estrella. Now, regardless of how this story ends, I do want to see an ace match. I would love to see a game 3 between these two players, but the pressure is on the most honorable of monorables. It's on Hon Mono, Pat. It's on it. Let's go. So in the chat, he's a weeb and he's hung. Crazy combination. Dangerous combination. But yes, Hon Mono does live in Japan. Is a South Korean Terran living in the land of Japan. And yes, he is a big weeb. Big weeb. Something that is burned into my skull, and it's one of those things that I won't forget for the rest of my life, which is not a good thing. Is Hon Mono, for those that are unaware, it was a couple of months ago at this point. I'm curious. You know what? I'll ask him after the series. I'll ask him when is the next Hon Maid stream, as Hon Mono did have a very interesting ladder session where he did a cosplay, did buy a maid outfit, so did wear a maid outfit. Not just that, because he was using cam from the neck down, was wearing a full-on maid outfit, and was even using a voice changer. Was using a voice changer to make him sound uwu, and went full anime waifu. It was a sight to behold. It was scarring. It was este Hon Mono. Animal, papi, animal. Not like this. And I'm sure he still has the outfit. So, one of these days it'll happen again. No. Pretty sure it was Hyper 1's fault. I think Hyper 1 made him do it. I want to say he made him do it. I'm shaking my head. Not like this. I feel like you ask him every week. I should. I really should. I mean, wouldn't you? As this time, Astray is going to be the aggressor. Oh my god. Let's go. We do have our initial 3 gateways back at home, soon to be a 4th gateway across the map. Now, Stray, he may not have any upgrades, may not have Blink, may not have Glaives or Charge, but he will have a lot of vanilla gateway units. Is looking to overwhelm. The pylon is done, and show us that 4th gateway. Show us that gateway. Is Stray going to be reinforcing? Is he going to be reinforcing with... Okay, slow warp it. Never mind. No 4th gate, just slow warp-ins. Let's go. Warping in 3 Stalkers at a time. It's going to be 5 in total. Hon Mono moves out. Does miss the warp-in. He's not fully aware. No bunker on the low ground. Oh, no bunker. No bunker in sight. Stalkers, they can trade well. The lock-on gets broken. Cyclone gets low. Marines are going down. And the game may just end here and now, as the boys are being pulled. Another lock-on takes down a Stalker. One Stalker does fall. Cyclone gets low. Nice control at Homeowner. He does save that Cyclone. Does pull away in time. Medevac has arrived. He can juggle. He can juggle, Pappy. Doesn't matter. That's still a lot of Stalkers. Lock-ons are being broken. Cyclones are going down. There's 2 Cyclones left. The Marines, they just crumble before these Stalkers. Again, just a little bit of greed here out of Homeowner. No safety bunker. I mean, he didn't know what was going on. And the Stalker count is just snowballing out of control. 3rd Cyclone has arrived. Mule gets started down. Oh, the Medevac falls. That means no more juggling. No more micro. Cyclone falls. There's 2 Cyclones left. Nice lock-ons though. Stalker's reinforcing. Trying to catch that final Cyclone. More SCVs going down. And Homeowner just desperately trying to hold on. Desperately trying to survive. Tank is on the way. Oh, down to 1 final Cyclone. And with these reinforcements, it looks like it's just too much. It looks like the back has been broken. Astray, he pushes into the main, has broken the natural. A tank has arrived. But at this point, it may not matter. It may just be too late. As it's 11 SCV kills. It's 15 in total. Behind this Estrella, he's working towards Blink. Getting to his Twilight Council. Reinforcing with more Stalkers. And all that Estrella has to do is just contain Homeowner on 1 base. Just look to contain. Homeowner now saturating the natural. Does resaturate. Getting into additional tanks. And Estrella does back off for now. More arena depths. Blink is halfway done. It's getting there. At least Homeowner does survive, but he's behind in workers. Behind in economy. Estrella, does he commit? It's tempting. Oh, he does. Commits to shade. Going for the tank. And boys are being pulled. Tank is going to go down. Or is it? The repairs! Oh, it's barely enough. Homeowner holds. Homeowner barely does hold. Saves the tank. There's a tank on the high ground as well. Homeowner, he's surviving. Behind this, Astray getting his 3rd up and running. He's being fully saturated. Getting further ahead. Blink is now finishing up in 5 seconds. And the Homeowner, he's just turtling up as best he can. Getting up to 3 tanks. eBay, SimCity. Denying surface area. And Astray doesn't have to push in. There's no need. At this point, Astray just has to calm things down. He can take another expansion if he wanted to. Tech up. Into Storm, into Robo, into Colossus. The world is Astray's oyster. And for now, it's going to be Charge or Archon as a response. Clicks away. Homeowner breaking out. And at this point, does Homeowner keep turtling? Does he expand or does he pull the boys? What's it gonna be? It's gonna be one or the other. Hung Weibo. Oh, God. Ay, ay, ay. As Homeowner is up to 4 tanks. Now moving out. And let's go, he pulls the boys! It's all or nothing for Homeowner. He barely held earlier. Now one way or another the game will end. Either he breaks Astray or he dies trying. Stalkers from behind. Catching out those SCVs. Oh, they get caught instead. Storms are coming in. Storm is done. That's 4 High Templar. Tanks are sieging up. First couple of tanks go down. That's 2 tanks falling. Almost 3. Massive tank blows on the Stalkers. Not much to reinforce. Does Homeowner have enough? He bled out a lot of bio here. Trying to push out. Again, pushing into 4 storms. Does bait some of the storms out. 3 High Templar left. With energy. Overcharge gets popped. Homeowner once again trying to bait. Gets to sell it up. Going for High Templar, gets 1. Snipes a High Templar. Zells from the right hand side. Homeowner, he's able to siege up. Well, unsiege and siege up in time. Storm zones. There's 1 storm left, soon to be 2. But 1 storm for the time being. Stray setting up for a surround. Mono threatening a stim. Freedom has arrived. Stray said catching reinforcements. That's going to be a free tank. Yeah, tank gets picked off. Massive catch here for Estrella. Mono takes the big storm to the face. And there's 1 storm remaining. More Zealots reinforcing. Homeowner just doesn't really have enough. He's down to a handful of Marauders. The juggling. And more reinforcements. GG. Good luck gets called as Homeowner, he runs out of steam, and Estrella will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. Game 1 was very close. It was a very tight game where Estrella was barely holding on, and Homeowner, the all-in, just continued for 15 minutes, a 2-base all-in. Here in Game 2, a little bit different, where Estrella had momentum early on, was able to punish Homeowner, was able to contain him, was able to deny him, and instead he forced the all-in out of Homeowner, and alas, he just didn't really have too much sustain with that army. Did peter out over time. GG. GG, well played. Estrella will take the series. Estrella will be our 2nd finalist. Congratulations. Congratulations. And with that, we have our top 2 players. We have Estrella versus Geralt in a best of 5 grand finals. Let's go. Just messaging our players and looking to get things ready. We have our top 2. I mean, shout out to Homeowner for trying to deny the PvP finals, but alas, there's only so much you can do in these online tournaments. And we'll see if Estrella can avenge his fallen housemate. We'll see if he can, as Trigger did go down to Geralt earlier. I'm sure Estrella was watching. Estrella did have some downtime earlier. I'm sure he's aware of the shenanigans of the Dark Templar that Geralt did use in that series. Likewise, I'm sure Trigger is there to help support Estrella as well in his endeavors. And now we are setting up. It is going to be NA versus EU. We'll see how this story ends. Again, it's been a pretty intense tournament so far. We had Geralt taking down Hydra alongside Trigger. Geralt playing purely PvPs today. So that's a lot of Protoss. A lot of Protoss players he did face off against. Took down Hydra, took down Trigger, now up against Estrella. Estrella, he was able to break through some other races instead. We were able to cast Estrella against Eon earlier in the TVZ. Likewise against Homeowner as well. And now Estrella can embrace the PvP. Getting a bit of everything. And of course, before we dive into the finals, a big shout out to Protostegosaurus as well. He is a very passionate viewer and supporter of StarCraft, not just of the CranKy Ducklings. Has hosted and has sponsored events in the past. Likewise, so has Mark BT as well. So the 2 sponsors for the tournament, Mark BT as well as Stegosaurus, 2 just passionate people out there for StarCraft. And that has allowed for the prize pool this week to be even larger. Usually it's 150 USD, but this week it is 400 at least. Actually, I should check. But shout out to Mark BT, shout out to Stegosaurus. If you want to help boost the prize pool as well, if you want to help support the tournament, ! Matcherino in the chat. ! Matcherino, you will get a link to the Matcherino page. Yeah, 400 USD. Crazy, papi, crazy. Top 4 get paid out, of course. Top 4. And it looks like our players need a little bit of time here to get their vetoes underway. So from here, we're going to be going on a very short break, very short. And when we come back, we'll have that best of 5 grand finals. We'll see you guys in a couple of minutes. Take this moment to take a break, drain your disruptors, get some snacks, get some food, and we'll be back soon with that PvP. See you guys in a couple of minutes. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the Grand Finals. The Grand Finals of the Tenacious Turtle Tussle number 20. It has been an intense tournament, and now we are here in the top 2. We're here in the Grand Finals. 2 Pro players will face off, one from the Americas, one from Europe, and there can only be one champion. Who's it going to be? If you're in the chat, Get your gambler going, because predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you believe will be the champion this week. Best of luck. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ghost River, we have the Polish Protoss player, the red Protoss, representing Storm Gaming. It is Geralt. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the American Protoss player, the blue Protoss, representing Virtus Pro. It is Estrella. We go. We do have our finals, and Estrella going for the proxy inside that. He's crazy. Estrella, wait, they're cannon rushing each other. We have a forge here from Geralt. Geralt, he scouted. Okay, Geralt, he did scout, did confirm he responds with a forge. He will respond with cannons. Meanwhile, Estrella, he has been found out going proxy 2-gate into a forge. Estrella is aware, does scout the full wall off, does scout the forge. And is this actually going to work out here for Estrella? Can he pull this up? No. Can he pull this off back? As the wall has been placed, forge is now done. And cannons are on the way. Yeah, Geralt, there's the first offensive cannon. Remember, there's no gas, it's purely Zealot. It's a Zealot rush out of Estrella. Upper ramp into cannons. I don't see this working, but again, maybe Estrella can still pull this off. As the probe is forced back. I mean, with the pylons, we can throw down cannons on the low ground. Results are spotted. There's the full wall. And the cannon has completed. Now back at home, Estrella takes gases, and where does he go from here? Like, what's the plan, Pappy? What's going on? I mean, it's just unfortunate that Estrella got scattered, so because of that, it has to kind of play catch up a little bit here, going for a cyber core, getting into, I imagine, stalkers, maybe into a robo. Cannon now on the way. I'm sure Estrella himself is piecing this all together. Is piecing it together. Gets one of the Zealots, trading 1 for 1. Stalker and Adept production has begun. Behind this is a shield battery as well. I would imagine Geralt would want to respond with his own robo, with his own immortal production. As we're just in a very odd game state. The cannon is helping though. Is supporting. Has no high ground vision, unfortunately. Stray shading in. Does get vision. Going for the Adept. Overcharge gets popped. Ooh, and the cannon is under fire. Okay, Adept pulls back. Overcharge keeps alive. Cannon goes down. Very nice control here out of Geralt. Very nice control. Pylon. Geralt's moving out, so Estrella with a hidden probe here towards the south. I'm uneasy as to what's going on. Third gateway, robo. Adept shades in, forcing a recall. And neither player has yet to really expand. Technically, Estrella could try to contain and take a natural behind this, but Estrella goes for the robo, goes for immortal production. Meanwhile, Geralt responding with Blink Stalkers instead. Breaks out. Ooh, going for the pylon. Everything is exposed. That's 2 gateways of Forge and a Cyber Core. Estrella, he has to fight for this, but how does he? Estrella pushing in. Cyber Core is exposed. And it's going to go down as well. Massive pickoff. Cybercore falls. Estrella is attempting to expand. Let's reinforce up to 7 stalkers. But Geralt does have enough. Immortals on the way. There is no low ground shield battery. So Estrella could try and take a fight. Blink is now done for Geralt. Geralt moving out. Estrella pushes in. We could end up in a weird base trade. Do we recall back home? Does Geralt go for the recall? Nah, he commits. He commits across the map. Going for the natural. The Cybercore was just rebuilt. It can be targeted down once again. Not again. The natural is going to fall. Does force a cancel. Geralt starts stepping in. Pylons are on the way. Geralt is supply blocked, but so is Estrella. Both players get supply blocked. Overcharge gets pulled, but gets depowered. It does get depowered in the end. You have the force field just looking Estrella out of his own expansion, out of his own main. And there's another force field. Forced to recall. Now Geralt's locked in, but GG gets called and Geralt takes game number 1. GG. The hell did I just watch? GG, well played. It was a cheeky opener out of Estrella, but unfortunately it was scattered, so because of that, it kind of fell on its face. Very fortunate scout by Geralt does shut him down. With that, GG. GG, well played. We are going to be getting ready. So again, this is why we love and we also hate Estrella. We're like, it's that kind of relationship here with the two extremes. Estrella, he's an amazing player. He's also very creative and he can come out with some wild builds. And at times they work amazingly, at other times less so. And this is one of those examples where it just did kind of fall on its face. It was just unfortunate that Geralt checked his natural. He was able to respond in time with a forge, with a cannon. So a very strong response there by Geralt. And with that, GG. GG, well played. Starts off with a lead. Now we're getting to game number 2. Getting into game 2. Here we go. We're getting into that second game. We're going to be loading into Dynasty. Once again, one of the more unorthodox maps in the map pool, and this can kind of take a weird turn as well. We rarely see Dynasty PvP, so I'm ready. I'm excited. Does either player rush into the gold? How do our players approach this kind of map? Oh boy. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Dynasty, we have the American Protoss player, the Red Protoss representing... Oh, sorry. The Polish Protoss player, the Red Protoss representing Psystorm Gaming. Did they switch colors? It's fine. It is Geralt. Leading the series 1-0 and spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the American Protoss player, the Blue Protoss representing Virtus Pro. Down in the series, we'll see if we can bounce back. It is Estrella. We go. Is this a final or Gref mirror match? Oh no, it's Gref versus Boanan. Not like this. Oh, the cannon rushers. And so now we are settling in. And again, what I was referring to earlier is the gold. The gold base is a big factor here of Dynasty. It is typically avoided in mirror matchups, or in a lot of these matchups, to be honest. In PvP, it can be abused by adepts, by stalkers, by any kind of range-based unit. So I don't see either player really embracing this gold base anytime soon, but we'll see. See if either one feels greedy enough to do so. As the Pro Scout is coming in. Likewise, Estrella setting up for the gold. Uh-oh. Okay. Okay. I see you. Let's go. Estrella throwing down the pylon. Probe Scout comes in, does confirm the second pylon is missing, is nowhere to be found. And Estrella might be faking a proxy. Might try to force an overreaction. Does Geralt check the gold? For now, he's still looking for the pylon. Yeah, and he will check the gold. Does get eyes on the second pylon. Geralt knows there is no proxy. And Geralt is going for the standard natural base. So Geralt is sane. Estrella less so. Aye. Assuming that he takes the gold. You can see Geralt double checking. Sentry has arrived. Do we go for the pylon block? Oh, not quite. Probe goes down. Estrella going for the Twilight Council before Nexus. Now the question becomes, was this a fake out and does Estrella go for a one base all in? Nah, he's expanding. Okay, Probe moves in. And the Nexus will soon be on the way. Probe gets shut down. Estrella has the money for it. There it is. Was a little bit delayed, but the Nexus is on the way. Likewise, Geralt taking his own natural expansion. Going for a robo opening. Likewise, Geralt does confirm. And now the pressure is going to be on the red Protoss to deny mining. To deny this gold base. Otherwise, they will fall behind. That denied access to the main. Geralt is holding on. Looking for the Adept. He's looking. A couple of Adepts do sneak by. There's still no saturation. The gold base is still on the way. We'll see how Estrella does approach this. I mean, it looks like he's trying to be as aggressive as possible to keep his base safe. What I mean by that is the blink is almost done. And with that, Estrella can try and contain a Geralt. Geralt going for the mineral line. Gets one probe. Gets two. Oh! Gets three! Not bad. 3 probe kills. Geralt setting up for his own gold. Immortal has arrived. And Estrella's moving out. As he moves out, Geralt likewise pushing out across the map as well. Both armies will miss each other. And who recalls, if any? Who does decide to recall? As Estrella, he's diving into the main base. Takes down the pylon. Geralt moving out. Going for the mineral line. Does recall back home. Recalls the Immortal. Just recall, there's some reinforcements, Prism under fire. Oh, Prism does not go down. Okay, good movement there by Geralt. Saves some more Prism, drops the Immortal. Zones the army away, comes in for the surround. And won't quite be able to catch the main army. Gets a Stalker. Gets the one. Ooh. Lose the Warp Prism. The Immortal should be able to hold its own. It's going to be close, though. It's going to be going down. A massive pig off here by Estrella. Takes down the Immortal. Saves the Stalkers. And his gold, it's up and running. It's fully saturated. The entire time. Estrella is able to save the expansion. He gets away with it. Now getting to his forge. Additional gateways. Now Estrella reinforcing. Getting another Stalker. And Estrella just abusing his mobility here. Ooh. Trading 1 for 1. But again, the power of Blink. Geralt needs more time. Blink is halfway done. it's just been a very chaotic game state. Astray with his better economy, that translates into this, into 3 immortals. That's a lot of immortal. Astray does have now a more robust army. There's a lot of stalkers here for Geralt. Link is finishing up. Gets the observer. Keeps on pushing. Past the turtle. Let's go. Does spot the main army. And at the same time, it they get across the map. And 2 adepts into the mineral line. They shade into the main as well. Probes are going down. Main army soon to clash. It's going to be 6 probe kills. Better start here for Estrella. Gets a sentry. Gets a stalker. Coming up once again. Does blink in, goes for the dive. Gets the War Prism. Prism goes down, and Estrella, he will take the fight. Cleans up every single immortal. Takes down the immortals, takes down the War Prism. Geralt forced to pull back. Geralt is reinforcing with mass zealots, but charge is still not done. He's going to finish first here for Estrella. No Archon production, just gateways, stalkers, zealots, and immortals for both players. No Archons in sight. Estrella getting another 4th base now that he has map control. Getting another expansion. Does have to respect all those charge slots though. Again, without Archons, these Zealots, they can trade quite well. Geralt, he can still pull this up. Speaking of Archons, Temple Archives is halfway done. Estrella, he's working towards Archon production. Meanwhile, Geralt doing what he does best, working towards Disruptors. It's not about the Archons, it's going to be about the Disruptors here for Geralt. We saw him attempt to embrace Disruptors against Trigger, if you recall. And Trigger was able to deny and kill Geralt before he could really get going. We'll see if Geralt can get there this time. Going for the Bay and the Dark Shrine as well. They're basically saturated. If they shade in, they get 1, they get 2 probes. And just the 1. Geralt catching the Observer, denies the Scout. Checking the vision, Estrella, he is in the dark. He has not seen anything in the main. Unaware of what's going on. But if he's familiar with the Geralt, he should be aware that, again, Disruptors are what he's fond of, at least. Pushing towards the natural. Doesn't find a way in. Geralt sneaking out a 4th. Stray rotating around. Trying mining at the gold. First Archon has arrived. Geralt's going for a DT counterattack. The Dark Shrine is done. And are there cannons back at home? Oh, there is. There's 1 cannon in the natural, no cannon in the main. Immortals, they do thread in the expansion. Nexus under fire. 1 immortal goes down. Meanwhile, DTs are wreaking havoc. Not getting many workers yet, but there we go. 2 probes, Observer coming in. And plenty of detection. Estrella does defend. Likewise, locking down those workers. Very nice force fields. That's 11, that's 12 probes. 12 probes going down. Again, as I mentioned before, this position is just so abusable. So difficult to actually get saturation, to get mining going. DT still harassing across the map. Nexus under fire, another immortal goes down. No, but for a Nexus. And Geralt is down to a 2 base economy. His 3rd is getting up. Estrella, I believe he did miss the Scout. He's unaware. Stray, he pulls back home. He's almost maxed at this point. Has an overwhelming army. Now, bearing in mind, the soup does lie a little bit. Most of the supply is in Zealots. That's a lot of Zealots. That's 43. 43 Zealots for Australia. And a couple of well-placed Novas can actually take a fight for Geralt. I almost said Trigger. How good are the Novas going to be? Again, that's 5 Disruptors. We need some juicy Novas, Pappy. We need them. GC's going for the Nexus. Oh, don't quite force a cancel. Army pushing in. And Novas, they do pop off. They do connect. A little bit of friendly fire. But mainly Zealots go down. At the same time, though, we have Zealots wreaking havoc in the gold. Zealots in the main, Zealots in the natural. Probes are going down. When Geralt gets caught with his pants down as well. Disruptors, they fall. 3 Disruptors. Estrella takes 3 of them down, and he gets 17 probe kills as well. Zealots are still wreaking havoc, still getting more probes in the main. 22 in total. 23 probe kills. And GG gets called. There's just far too much damage, and Estrella, he fights back. He ties up the series 1-1. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Estrella does tie it up. We have a back and forth. We have a back and forth series. That's all I wanted. Let's go. As we're getting ready for game number 3. The soup never lies. The soup often lies, unfortunately. Often does lie. But here we go. We're jumping into game number 3. Número 3. It's going to be on Alcyone. No clear advantage. And again, when it comes to these 2 games, they've just been so awkward and so unorthodox. Game 1 was the cannon rush. Game 2 was rushing into the gold and attempted punishment of the gold as well. The question becomes, do we get a standard game? do we get some standard openers here? I mean, this would be the map for it. It would be. We'll see. I feel like it's on Estrella. It's on Estrella. Does he go for a 2-gate opener, or does he go for a proxy? Let's go. Let us go. Is the final? Yes, yes. These are the grand finals. Best of 5. Here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alcyone, we have the Polish Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. Being forced into a tie-up series, we'll see if he can bring it back and gain momentum. Once again, it is Geralt. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the American Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Virtus Pro, tying up the series in that last game. It is Estrella. Here we go. So we are loading into a much larger map, much more known for its macro play. I say that. We have seen, of course, the minerals made use of. You can mine through the minerals. You can go for proxies on the right-hand side or towards the left as well for something like a proxy Stargate or even something more committed. We'll keep an eye on our players. For now, looks like a 2-gate opener. We're calming down. Let's go. After a very chaotic game 1 and game 2, it's going to be a 2-gate opener out of Estrella, likewise 2-gate opener out of Geralt.
Game paused.
Hopefully everything is okay, as we do have a bit of a pause. Hopefully no latency issues. Hopefully maybe there's I was gonna say, you know, maybe some Uber Eats has arrived at home. A knock on the door. But I believe it's like 5 a.m. for Geralt, so I doubt that's the case. I say that. Nah, in Poland there is night pizza. True. True. Could have ordered some food. Okay. We'll let him get his pizza. Let him get it. Looks like we are back, and we're good to go.
Game resumed.
We'll let him go. $4 a.m. Yeah. 4 a.m. Pizza time, Bobby. Pizza time. For those that are curious, when I went to Poland for the first time, one of the most memorable things about Poland, as Australia is going for the proxy pylon. Let's go. I imagine a fake proxy pylon. But one of the most memorable things when going to Poland is there is a pizzeria. I say pizzeria. Like, there's a pizza place in Poland called Night Pizza, and they open at like around 10 p.m. and they close at like the next morning, like what, like 7 a.m. in the morning or something. Like it's a pizzeria specifically for degen times. Like it's perfect. right? Like, oh my god. You want some pizza at 4 a.m.? They got you, papi. They got you. Just for Geralt. Let's go. Ay. You know what's wild? Is that they had kangaroo pizza. I was like, what's happening right now? I was like, how did you get this? And why do you have it on pizza? What's going on? Crazy. Random kangaroo pizza in Poland. Of course I had to have it. I had to. Of course. It was okay. wasn't amazing. It was okay. Fun fact, that's the only time I've eaten kangaroo. Like, I'm here in Australia, so you'd think I'd have it more often. Oh, let's Stalkers do trade, 1 for 1. Doing up trading. Geralt getting ready for his expansion. Likewise, so is Australia. We are expanding back at home. But yeah, that's the only time. Not in Australia, but in Poland. Ay. Basically like kebab places around Sydney. I feel like that's a little bit different. A little bit. But it also sounds amazing. I feel like a lot of those kebab places, they're like closer to like the club area, right? So when people go clubbing and after they're done with a night of drinking, they just like go and get kebabs. Like, that makes sense. But I would imagine that's closer to like the CBD or something. As Australia diving into the main. Oh. Did open up Stargate. Likewise, so did Geralt. Great minds think alike. Oracles moving up from both players. So far, no major damage. Stalkers do pick up the pylon. Likewise, Australia in position. The Oracle gets 1 probe kill, but takes a lot of damage. Oh my god. Almost goes down. Does get the hell out of there. Why does it? Yeah. What do you mean? I'm Aussie, mate. What are you talking about? SMH. But that's why we don't often cast European tournaments, because whenever there's a European event going on, we usually sleep. I say usually because there are times where we are like the official caster for like a European tournament. That's when we do stay up. And when I completely ruin my sleep schedule, but usually that's when we're in bed. Usually. Here we go from here. We're just going to be calming things down. Astray getting to his third base. Likewise, I'm sure Geralt is as well. There we go. Thirds are on the way. We did have some aggression early on with the Oracles, but no major damage. The Oracles did survive. Astray is setting up back at home, throwing down stasis traps. And I mentioned before that despite the chaotic nature of this series so far in Game 1 and Game 2, here in Game 3, we can embrace some macro papi. Ah, it's beautiful. We can calm things down, get our third bases up and running, and head towards the mid-game. We're not there yet, but we're headed in that direction. As Astray, he moves out. He vies for map control, of course. Geralt setting up. In between his bases. And we saw last game Geralt attempt to embrace disruptors, and I'm sure he's going to looking to do the same here as well. Stalkers, they do dive in though. Oracle goes down, stasis is set up. Gets baited out. Nice set up there by Geralt. A couple of probes get caught as well though. As Geralt does defend. As defend does hold. Oh, let's say that stasis traps are thrown down everywhere. Does take another to the face. Meanwhile, players back off. We're getting into Zealot production, into Chargeable Archon. I say that I'm sure Astray is headed in that direction. Once again, my eyes are on Geralt with those disruptors. Now just going to be Zealots and +1. Astray rotating around. He can, of course, now threaten the 4th as well. Setting up a stasis. Make a nice rotation from Estrella. Spots the pylon. Forces a cancel. The oracles can even dive back into the main. Geralt is in position. Builds on away. So the army back. Estrella diving in. He shouldn't be able to break this. The concave is just a little bit too in favor of Geralt. Estrella just testing the waters. Getting his own 4th faster than that of his opponent. Did delay the 4th base of Geralt. And with that, Estrella does maintain his economic lead. Up in probes. Has a faster 4th. Will have a slightly larger army as a result. Getting into a dark shrine even. Okay. I see you. DTs are on the way. Same can be said for Geralt. Dark Templar for both. Estrella rotating towards the natural once again. And Geralt did miss the rotation. He's out of position. He has not spotted the main army. And Estrella, he's going to dive in. Uh-oh. The robo is exposed. The army is spotted. Estrella pulls the trigger, going for the natural. Does force a recall. Up! Warping does complete. Estrella has to back up. Did at least force the recall. At the same time, Zelts across the map, getting 4 probes. Not bad. 4 probes go down. Slow lots, they're on the chase. They'll get there. Charge finishing up in 10 seconds. There we go. Plenty of Zealots. As Geralt is getting a second robo. And there's the bay. There it is. We spoke about it earlier, but again, Geralt, he's very fond of his disruptors. Disruptor production is on the way. Estrella for now just still embracing Chargelts and Stalkers. No Archons yet. Just like last time, we'll see if Estrella can break Geralt before he can really get those disruptors going. Desperate food? No, wholesome food. What do you mean? I feel like non-Aussies don't know what they're missing out on. Not gonna lie. Mate, I've had some kebabs in Europe, and they're just not as good. I'll be honest. They need to come to Australia, learn how to make a kebab. Ay, ay, ay. They are just different. It's okay, one day. You'll understand. We'll get you some HSP. It'll be beautiful. As we do see Estrella maxed out. Threatening dives towards the left and right hand side. Disruptors are on the way. Never goes off. Up. Let's go up. DT's a dive into the mineral line. So far, so good. And Astray, he just hit 3 locations at once. DT's at the 3rd, main army towards the 4th, and a run by towards the natural. Nexus goes down. Geralt getting pulled apart. Did try to embrace Disruptors, but this might just be too much. I mean, the Disruptors, they can't really do much here. Yeah, they're pinned against the wall. 24 probe kills. And Estrella is overwhelming. Nova's coming in. They blink away. 31 probe kills. Ay, ay, ay. And the Disruptors! He gets 2! He could get all 3. Yeah, Estrella gaining ground. Breaking through. Geralt trying to warp in, trying to hold on. Leading out another Immortal. Geralt, he will force back the main army. But again, he got knocked down to 3 bases. Still has his robos though. Still pumping out more Disruptors. That's what I will say. Even though Estrella has a massive army supply lead, what I will say is, with Disruptors, anything is possible. They are the great equalizer. If Geralt's able to catch Estrella out, 1 time too many. Never goes up. Takes out some Zealots. Disruptor goes down. Nova's there on cooldown. DT counterattack getting set up. There are 3 cannons in position. That's a lot of cannons. Meanwhile, massive warp in into the main base once again. Estrella just pulling Geralt apart. Geralt, he might be able to win a fight head on, especially with these Disruptors. But they're just running into the main army. 2, 3, 4 Disruptors going down. Massive pickups at the same time. DTs and Zealots in every other mineral line. They're in all the bases. Getting more economic damage, forcing a recall as well. 24 probe kills. Not like this. And GG gets called. There's just too much damage, and Estrella will take a 2-1 lead in the finals. GG. Una más. One more game is all Estrella needs, and Geralt, he has to fight back here and now to force the ace match. It was an intense game. I mean, initially things were kind of calming down. We were building up, both players getting into their 4th bases. We saw that Geralt, as always, was trying to rush into those Disruptors, and he was getting there, but alas, we saw that Estrella, he had the faster 4th base, he had better saturation, he was the first to max out, and with that max out army, Estrella, he hit 3 locations at once. He hit the natural, the 3rd, and the 4th, all at the same time, and Geralt, he was pulled apart. He was unable to defend most of his locations, and as a result, we saw so many probes going down. Critical economic damage. The 4th base fell as well. Disruptors, everything. Anything and everything was targeted down. GG, well played. Estrella just pulling Geralt apart before he could really max out and hit that kind of final form of ground toss. And now we're getting into game number 4. Potentially the final game of the series. Potentially. I'm hoping for an ace match, but the pressure is on. Pressure is on. Here we go. The turtles they're tussling, papi. They're tussling like crazy. If you wanted a kebab, we should go to Germany. I'm afraid that I feel like, especially whenever you hear the Home Story Cup broadcast, they always hype up the kebabs, the local kebabs. I'm afraid I'm gonna be disappointed. not gonna lie. I'm terrified. The insomnia cookies. Oh no. Not the insomnia cookies. We have a cookie shop in the US that has hours from 11 a.m. to 3 a.m. Yo, they must hit different. That sounds amazing. For all the people out there with the munchies. Ay, ay, ay. I'm sure working there, you must get like a lot of, for the people that work there, I should say, they must get a lot of characters. Interesting place to work. It isn't about the taste, it's about a way of life. True, true. You going to Home Store Cup? No. One day. I'd love to go to a Home Store Cup, but it's quite expensive. It's very expensive flying, I mean, anywhere from Australia, as you can imagine. Especially like over long distances, whether it's Europe, whether it's Asia. I say Europe and the Americas, Latin America as well. It's very expensive, so most likely not. But one day I would love to. I mean, this year I was at Katowice. I did go to Katowice, which was, you know, off the bucket list. At least I was, I mean, kind of. I was gonna say, at least I've been to one World Finals. But technically Katowice wasn't a World Finals this year, so technically not. But regardless, at least I was at one Katowice. That was my one event ever been to. I mean, I've been to local Australian stuff, but never something of the scale of like a DreamHack or an IEM before. And that might be the one and only though. I remember for a long time I would have loved to have gone to like a BlizzCon, but BlizzCon isn't a thing anymore. So I would have loved to have gone to a Pro League, but Pro League also isn't a thing anymore. So a lot of the events that I would have loved to have experienced IRL, unfortunately unable to. Home Story Cup definitely has to be up there as well. It is up there. But regardless, we're getting into our next game. We're getting into game 4, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Side Delta, we have the Polish Protoss player, the red Protoss, representing Psystorm Gaming. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back here and now to force the ace match. It is Geralt. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the American Protoss, the blue Protoss player representing Virtus Pro. One game away from becoming our champion. It is Estrella. Good kebabs are about the tasty way of life. Ah, exactly. But yeah, the hardest parts about traveling, whether it's Europe, whether it's the Americas, is I mean, the flights themselves are like typically, at least for me, I think my journey was like 28 hours, I think. Was it 28 or was it 36? I can't quite recall. Of course, it isn't like purely traveling, but a lot of that is like layovers, like 10-hour layovers like in Singapore, or 8-hour layover like in Frankfurt or something. So that like adds to the travel time to make it like 36 hours. But yeah, it's brutal. it's brutal, Pappy. Aye. It's like, do I risk having a nap in the airport and potentially missing the flight? Do you risk it, Pappy? Ah. Not like this. As for now, we are going to be embracing Side Delta. Estrella, of course, opening up a Gate Expand, a more greedy economic opener here out of Estrella. I mean, this makes sense on a map like Side Delta, so my apologies, may as well talk about the game itself. Meanwhile, Geralt instead goes for a 2-gate opener. Interesting. What I will say is that what Estrella is doing is legal here on Side Delta. It's kind of like the Max Packs opener, just because of the ramp. The ramp does mean that it is safe to do so. Maps like Side Delta, Post Youth, and Amphion do feature these ramps. As a result, you can cut corners. It's interesting though that Geralt did open up 2 gates, which means Geralt could go for a proxy and could go for a 1-base all-in. What are we going for? Stalkers are moving out as we're embracing this 4th game. A big shout out to SC2 in the chat. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for the support for how many months? For 8 months in a row. Thank you so much. Hope you had a great time. Hope you enjoy the content, the casting, the StarCraft. Gracias, happy gracias. As the initial Stalkers do move out, Astray, he does hold, he does defend. Does bully the Stalkers back. And it looks like Geralt should be expanding. He is going to be expanding back at home. And Estrella did open up Stargate. Did open up the Stargate, takes down the Stalker. Good pick off so far. Looking to catch another. Estrella pulling away. Going for a safety Void Ray. Has a shield battery, soon to be an overcharge. Estrella looking quite well fortified. And Geralt is going to be playing catch-up. His expansion is far later. Adept Shade's in, but there is a shield battery. The mineral line should be quite safe. And the Oracle won't get much done. Does at least Scout does confirm that Blink is on the way. So Geralt will have Blink Stalkers. Estrella, he's going to be stuck at home with Immortal Production instead. And I believe Estrella, yes, he also did cancel his Void Ray, realized he didn't need it, did confirm that of course his opponent was expanding. If it was a one-base all-in, then that's when the Void Ray comes into play. Are we going Dark Shrine? Okay, just Gateway. I was like, is he crazy? Just a proxy gateway across the map. Geralt, he has 3 gateways back at home, 4th gateway proxied, 4 gates blink. Very aggressive. And we'll see if Geralt can break the natural. I mean, pushing up a ramp into shield batteries, overcharge, and immortals, it's not going to be easy. Second immortal's on the way. Army's moving out. Quite an aggressive stance here by Geralt. The army is spotted by the observer. Estrella is aware. Now with Blink, he can bypass the natural, can blink into the main. True. Could do so with high ground vision. Hallucinations on the way. And as Geralt moves out, he is taking a third. He has map control, getting a third base. Hallucinations soon to arrive. And then Geralt can dive in. Picking off the pylon. Doesn't quite blink into the main. The immortals are keeping up. Able to keep up. Triggering the shields. And again, Geralt is not all in. He's expanding, taking a third, trying to take an economic lead. Meanwhile, Estrella opening up Dark Shrine. Okay, interesting. Does follow things up with the Dark Shrine. Third base is delayed. Now, what's interesting here is that Geralt, because of his opener, he does not have a robo. There is still no robo for Geralt. No detection, not yet. I mean, outside of the Oracle, of course. Oh, so my apologies, that is Estrella's Oracle. So I'm concerned. Zealots are going down. Proxy gets shut down as well. Geralt in position to deny the third. And he will be able to. Gets the probe. Probe gets sniped. Robo's on the way. Geralt forced to recall back home. Does recall back just in time. The Dark Shrine is done. The Robo is still in production. And DTs, they can pop off. 3 Dark Temple at a time. Do they engage with the main army? Do they head into the mineral lines? Okay, 1 towards the natural, 1 towards the third, and 1 into the main. Uh-oh. And this could just be too much. Nice force fields. Straight buying time. DT waddles in. The Robo's here at the natural is exposed. Yeah, the Robo is under fire. DT's into the main as well. Geralt trying to keep up. But there's DTs everywhere. Yeah, probes are going down. Left and right in every single mineral line. And Geralt, he's caught with his pants down. No detection, no observer. Observer is on the way and it should pop out. But damage has been done. Immortal does fall. It's going to be 12 probe kills. 13. 13 probes going down. Up to 14. And Geralt's getting pulled apart. And he will be able to force back the main army, but they're still going. No. DTs. They're still popping off. And Geralt's stuck on 1 base. Another DT in the natural as well. 21 probe kills. The power of the Invisible Man. They keep going. He just keeps warping in. He doesn't stop. Oof. And behind this Astray, he's just expanding. Just taking his own third, getting further ahead, embracing his economy. DT into the main, 25 probe kills. Getting a Stalker as well. Going for the pylons, going for the production. We don't even get the final fight. I was like waiting for like an all-in or for a count. Nah, not even. The DTs, they end the game then and there. GG, well played. Estrella will take this series 3-1, becoming this week's Tenacious Turtle Tussle champion. GG. Not exactly how I wanted the series to end, but GG, well played. Geralt getting a taste of his own medicine. If you recall, earlier today in the semifinals, Geralt had a similar game against Trigger, where Geralt also rushed into DTs, was able to deal critical damage, and was able to bring Trigger down on Oceanborn, if you recall. This time, Estrella whipping it out against Geralt. We saw the robo was a little bit too late. Observer did pop out, but it was only the one observer, and there were DTs in every single base, every single mineral line. Geralt was pulled apart, he was crippled, and with that, GG. GG, congratulations to Estrella. I believe winning his first Tenacious Turtle Tussle? Let me just double check. Let me double check that. GG, well played. Yeah, so last week, Estrella made it to the finals, and Estrella went down 3-1 to Nightmare. So last week, Nightmare was the champion. Estrella came second place. Was the bridesmaid, not quite the bride. Likewise, week before that, Estrella also didn't actually compete. So yeah, it's his first win. His first win here on the CranKy Ducklings. Congratulations, Bobby. Congratulations to Estrella. His first Duckling win. Quack. 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 Congratulations. And again, taking advantage of this week's tournament, honestly, I was expecting an NA PvP. I was expecting Estrella versus Trigger in the finals. That's what I was kind of looking at coming into this tournament, but no, Geralt, he pulled off an upset, or did just look a little bit more on point here tonight, was able to bring Trigger down, made it to the finals, and a shout out to our top 4 players. Shout out to not just Estrella and Geralt, but to Honmono and Trigger as well, as top 4 do walk away with some prize money. For the Tenacious Turtle Tussle, top 4 do get paid out, as this is a 400 USD prize pool! Exclamation mark Matcherino in the chat if you guys want to have a, if you guys wish to support the event yourselves via Matcherino, you could do so. Otherwise, just watching and following is enough support as well. Thank you so much, everyone, for the support, for tuning in. We do appreciate it. If you're curious, this is a weekly tournament, but that may soon change. I mean, I do have to slip in some DMs. I do have to figure out what's going on. Initially, for this event, we did agree to have 6 weeks consecutively as weeklies, to just kind of fill in for the off season of EPT. So that was the initial plan, and then after that have bi-weeklies. So this tournament will eventually turn into a bi-weekly instead of a weekly, but that might soon change. We'll be getting into some talks with some other organizers, and we'll see what happens. We'll see if maybe we collaborate and we're able to fund this event and make it a weekly, at least until EPT returns. That is at least the current plan. We'll see, as we're still in the off season. We're still in the off season of the ESL Pro Tour, and we'll see what the future holds. For now, though, congratulations to Estrella. And if you're unsatiated, if you want some more StarCraft, if you still want some more PvP or just StarCraft in general, then we have another cast in a couple of hours. It is going to be, I believe, in 8.5 hours time. In 8 hours and 30 minutes, we're going to be live on this channel with the Wardy TV with the Wardy TV Monday, number 5, I believe. Let me just double check. Yes, number 5. With the Monday Cup. And that is going to be in 8 hours. I am quite tired. I didn't get much sleep tonight. I don't know why, but I went to bed and I woke up like 3 hours later. Smooch. I was like, why am I awake right now? What happened? So I didn't really get much sleep. So I am going to be going and getting some rest. I might just get some breakfast, get some food first, get some water, get some work done, and then have a nap and wake up in time for some Wardy TV Monday. That is the plan here on the CranKy Ducklings. That is going to be the plan. For those that are curious, the Wardy TV Monday is at a more EU/European/Korean friendly time zone. So because of that, we get a lot of European and Korean competitors as well. A little bit less American representation. But that is why we have this time slot. That is why we have this event to cater towards that more Latin American and North American region and scene. That is the goal of this time slot. So we're just trying to cover our bases and, you know, spread the love and give support where it's needed. That is our goal, at least. Is our goal. Ah. It do be like that sometimes. Man with cape strikes again. The Invisible Man. The Invisible Man. It's too good. GG, well played. Like me, I can't sleep. 36 hours travel to Canada. Didn't sleep a second. You're crazy. You're crazy. I was talking about not sleeping like during the layers. I can sleep on a plane. I can do that. I can sleep. That's less of an issue. But crazy. Was Beyond not in this time? Not today. Not this time. Not this time. But with that, GG. GG, well played. Hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Hope you all had a great time. Again, our next cast is going to be in 8 hours, so we'll see you then, or we'll see you next time. When it comes to our schedule this week, it is going to be slightly different. I believe there is no Ursasaurus Cup tonight, or sorry, tomorrow, so I'm going to be missing out on that. But we will be casting Code for Giants Cup on Wednesday. We have Code for Giants Cup, we have the Pond cast on Thursday as well, and potentially some more coverage over the course of the weekend. We have the StarCraft Evolution League, we have STC as well, Sparkling Tuna Cup, and much more to come as well. So plenty of StarCraft here on the horizon. Otherwise, thank you for watching, thank you for tuning in, thank you for the support. If you want to help support the CranKy Ducklings, you can do so via Patreon if you wish. !Patreon in the chat, and you'll get a link to all of our stuff. Thank you so much. For the bits. Thank you, Jason. Oh my god. Jason A-Stack, gracias for the 500 bits in the chat. We do appreciate the support. And again, you can support us elsewhere via Patreon or subscribing on Twitch. We do give out replays to our subscribers and to our patrons as well. Replay packs of this tournament, for example, of the Tenacious Turtle Tussle. If you want to learn how to PvP like Estrella and have that weird Cannon Rush build on Ghost River, which did not work, you can do so by subscribing. So we do give out replay packs of these tournaments like Tenacious Turtle Tussle, Sparkling Tuna Cup, Kung Fu Cup, and many other events as well. Otherwise, you can follow us on all the social medias, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're streaming on YouTube. VODs are on YouTube on a daily basis. With that, we're wrapping up. That's enough shoutouts. that's enough. That's enough shilling. We're done for the day. We'll see you guys in 8 hours. Until then, thank you for watching. Stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Until then, hasta luego. Ciao. Happy ciao. Hasta luego.